Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's talk show. Now here's your host, Wilmot Mutty Perkins.
Okay, morning everybody, morning, and welcome once again to Perkins Online. Late as usual, a little later this morning than usual. But there are more important matters, more important programs that occupy the studio till just a few minutes before 10 o'clock. And, then I have to come in and set up my equipment and all this kind of thing. So, Okay, the news continues to be dominated by the murder of Mr. Wilmot and the police investigations, if that is what they are. There was a press conference, another press conference yesterday called by Mr. Shields, in which, according to reports that I heard on Radio Jamaica, and I think also on Hot 102, and I believe CVM, I'm not sure. According to those reports, there was nothing new disclosed to the press at this press conference. But I should not be surprised to see, every couple of days a press conference called. One might have thought that, I think the police are going to be investigating this case for some time, right? And as to whether they'll ever catch a murderer, well, that's another matter. You're taking any bets? Not a laughing matter really, but, in this country one has to laugh even at matters that are not laughing matters. The Observer this morning carries a story about a Pakistani senator blaming Jamaica for the death of Mr. Wilmot. He says that the security was lax at the team hotel. That strikes me as, on this face of it, as a load of damn nonsense. Right? First of all, we need to know who it was that killed Mr. Wilmot. Was it somebody that he knew? And that and invited or opened the door and had the person into his room? Or was it somebody who came and kicked down the door? Or somebody who had a key to his room? Is there any evidence of that? And the impression is given that in all likelihood it was more than one person. Now, when this man is talking about the security being at fault, is it somebody who came from outside the hotel? Or somebody who was staying within the hotel? Right? And I don't know if it was a person known to Mr. Wilmot, whom he was prepared to have in his room. Right? How would security have prevented that? I don't follow that one. But of course, you know, we have no monopoly on the talking of nonsense. The Gleaner's headline is telling us that the inquest delayed. Well, we're well accustomed to we are quite accustomed in this country to having inquests delayed. I don't know why it was thought. Well, to begin with, how likely is it that this man was found murdered on last week Sunday? So the investigation has been going now for a little over a week and a couple of days. And in the first instance, to begin with, it was not recognized until a couple of days after the discovery of the body that the man had been murdered. But, you know, police investigations were going on. Now, is it likely that the police could have, well, I don't know. I don't know what evidence they need to bring to the court. Because, but the inquest is delayed. Not surprising. We have had inquest delayed for 3 years and more. There is one that next year will, I think, be in the 10-year category. So I don't think we should be at all surprised by all that. But the Cricket World Cup continues. The West Indies are playing Australia today. Well, I gather Australia is batting. And they've already lost a couple of wickets, at least. Somebody is telling me that they were 80 for 2 at one point. So the West Indies don't seem to be doing all that badly. And I would like to remind Mr. Brian Lara and his crew of how much the Sister P and the People's National Party is depending on them, are depending on them. Do you remember, Mr. Lara, what Mr. Pickersgill, the chairman of the party, was reported yesterday as saying? People's National Party chairman, Bobby Pickersgill, yesterday said the government's handling of the Jamaica leg of Cricket World Cup has revived its hopes of winning the general election, which is constitutionally due by December 31st. I think that the government's handling of the Jamaica leg of the World Cup, it needs a little more than that. It needs a West Indies victory. I think that if Mr. Lara and his crew can come up with a victory, oh boy, the euphoria is going to be such that people will, well, at any rate, that is what the government is hoping. So, good luck to Mr. Lara. Hope they will do the job. And, anyway, we shall see what we shall see. Okay? Do we take the break now? Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Australia now 112 for the same 2 wickets. Anyway, let's go to our callers. Compensating for the long chat session that I had yesterday. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello, morning.
Morning, sir.
Uh-huh.
As you're talking about nonsense there, I was listening to you all day yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And it's it's 3 nonsense I've heard for the day, and the first one was the Prime Minister. What you said again?
About, the
opposition.
Yeah, she needed, she had a vision, Portia's vision.
Yeah.
And Jamaica would become, by the execution of that vision, Jamaica would become a first world country in not too long from now. But that required the cooperation of the opposition. And she hoped that the opposition would cooperate in bringing that vision about.
Nonsense. them boy out of road would I say, a sample that man.
Eh?
Them boy out of road would I say, a sample that man.
Sample?
Yeah, man. She not ready yet, man. And the next one was your friend, the returning resident.
But she hasn't. She hasn't told us what the vision is.
But the opposition, if they start opening their mouth in Parliament, them shut them up.
Well.
And can't say nothing. Who has the power?
Well, look here. The government has the power, right? The government doesn't need the support of the opposition to put anything into place that requires no more than a simple majority in Parliament. They can pass virtually any law they want, right? Whether it will be inconsistent with the Constitution is another matter, which courts may find.
But we're talking about moving up to the standard of first world.
They can even break the law.
Yeah.
Right? They have there is a maximum, a limit to the borrowing that the government can do. Mm-hmm. Right? And from time to time they break that limit, and then having broken it, come to Parliament and have their majority adjust the limit, the legal limit to conform to what they have done illegally.
Yeah.
Right? And remember that when they were censuring Mr. Samuda the other day, they didn't need the cooperation of the opposition, did they?
The next thing, Mr. Perkins, is the 200th anniversary.
Yes.
I was listening to quite a few. I look a bit at it over the BBC Sunday. And most of the people I heard, so them don't really want nothing, them just want to move on.
Yes.
And even a woman in Ghana said, if you're going to bring anything, who's going to get it?
Who going to what?
Who's going to get it?
What? Going to get what?
No, if those who put her into slavery going to give her anything as a result, who is going to get it?
Well, certainly not she. Because those in Ghana helped to put us into our ancestors into slavery, didn't they?
Yeah.
Eh?
And not only, but America. I was listening to the Americans, and them said them just want to move on too.
Yes.
But we want money.
Well, frankly, you know, so my view of it is, you see, that slavery is being used. Look here, we're searching all around for excuses for our failure.
Yeah.
Right? When you look at a country like Singapore and what Singapore has achieved, right? Why don't we look at it and ask why it is that we cannot achieve as much? Right?
Yeah.
When you look at Bermuda and what Bermuda has achieved in terms of a per capita income, why can't we achieve as much?
No, man, we're looking something, man.
Eh?
We're looking some free money.
We are sit down pan with tail, and I look for somebody to hand out something to it.
No, but you know what we really looking in Jamaica?
Huh?
You know what we really looking in Jamaica?
Yes.
Debt free.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what we're looking in now. To go and borrow a whole heap of more money.
Yes, indeed. Oh, yes. Debt forgiveness.
Yes.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, man, that's
right?
what we're looking for.
That's one of the things we're looking for.
No, but why?
But I tell you something.
Yes, sir.
But we also have a very serious. Well, it's not just in Jamaica, you know. I was telling the story last night. Yesterday, on Sunday evening, we were watching a television show, right?
Yeah.
With a famous American black singer.
Yes, yeah, I heard it. You said it yesterday.
Yes. She used to be black. Right? When I saw her on the television, I couldn't believe it. Right?
Maybe she's trying to change her complexion. That when I'm ready for her again, I don't recognize her.
Well, and there are a whole lot of them that have done this.
Yeah.
Right? And it's becoming, I gather, the fashion in Jamaica.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah. And even where it does not become the fashion, the browning is assuming a huge importance. I mean, even in the dance hall and all this kind of thing, the brownings seem to be of vital significance.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Why? And of course there was an argument about bleaching the other day, right? More and more people seem to be going in for bleaching.
No, but it causing a skin problem, you know.
Eh?
It causing a skin problem.
Well, it should cause more than that, right? Because
is those who looking for the money, you know, is the same sort of people that sell we out, you know, run with on and catch you, you know.
Yes.
And then we won't give them, then run with on and catch them and get a ship.
But all of that tells us, sir, that we have a belief, a conviction of our own inferiority because of the color of our skins.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it seems to me that is of far greater importance than what happened 200 years ago. Right? What we need to do, and it needs leadership. It needs leadership to do this.
So where are you going to get that from?
To help us through this difficulty.
But we can't. Where are you going to get that from?
Eh?
Where are you going to get that from?
Oh, I mean, I know, my son.
One last thing, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
Jehovah's Witness about 6 months ago released a track entitled The Destruction of Babylon the Great, the World Empire of False Religion.
Uh-huh.
And we distribute them to anybody we could get. I don't know if you got one.
No.
Anyway, I talk about the destruction of false religion.
I see.
But I just want to make one thing plain, that those who in our organization who are fraud and claim to be true Christians are going down with Babylon the Great.
I see.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins.
All right, sir. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, you have to speak up, though.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
You're sorry about what? Having to speak up?
Are you hearing me clearly?
No, you're not speaking directly into the telephone, are you?
Yes, I am.
Yes, right now, yes. That sounds better.
Okay. I'm calling about a situation in regards to a family member of mine.
Uh-huh.
He was picked up on his way from work on Thursday evening by the police.
Uh-huh.
At
He was
about
picked up?
11 o'clock,
Eh?
they called my mother and asked her to take some food down there to him.
Uh-huh.
He has gastritis.
Your mother what?
They asked my mother to take some food down there to him.
Oh?
So we were asking the police, what is the position, what is happening? We seem not to have gotten any answer. So we decided that, okay, we're going to go home until the next morning. When my mother went down there, they told her that he was transferred to the Mountain View station.
To where?
Mountain View.
Uh-huh.
No, they
Where
told-
was he originally?
He lives in Wellington Town.
No, where was he? What station was he?
Okay, he was at the Elliston Road Police Station.
Elliston Road. Elliston Road Police Station.
Yes.
And he's been transferred to where?
Mountain View.
Mountain View.
Yes.
And what is he charged with?
There's no charges. They said that they detained him.
They detained him.
Yes.
No charge.
No charge.
Uh-huh. Well, you see, they can only do that to our own local niggers, you see?
Mm-hmm.
They can't do it to people like Pakistanis and people like that. And, as for Europeans, no question about that. Right? They would have to have a charge and would have to have evidence to support that charge.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But where our own local niggers are concerned, they are not of any great importance, They're barracks people. Only the people who live in the great houses,
That is true.
would have a...
I have called down there several times.
So how long has he been in custody?
From Thursday until now.
From Thursday until now?
Yes.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 6 days.
Yes.
His freedom, his liberty, that is supposed to be constitutionally guaranteed, is taken from him without due process. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose they'll keep him there. No press conference is a bingo. Oh boy. Yes, so what's the position now?
Pardon me?
What's the position now?
Well, I have called Detective Mellis several times.
Uh-huh.
I was never able to speak with him.
Uh-huh.
My mother called. No one has been able to speak with him. He's never in office. When I asked them this morning, is there at any point that he comes to work?
Uh-huh.
They said yes, he has shifts. He comes either 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Uh-huh.
or 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. And whenever you call, whether day or night, yesterday I called, they told me to call back after 2. I called back after 2. They said he's still not there. I called this morning, he's not there. I should call back after 6. So it is like a circle. He is never in the office to speak with anyone, and no one else can give you information on it.
Uh-huh. But you shouldn't need that particular detective to give you that information.
I should do what?
I say you don't need that particular detective. That should be on record.
I asked them, and they're saying they're not the ones dealing with the case.
Uh-huh.
They cannot speak to me. They're sorry about that.
So it's a private decision made by the detective.
I don't know.
And only he knows about why this man is locked up there.
Well, I guess that's the impression that they're given.
Well, hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you.
Yes.
Look here, Mom. Let me tell you something, you see.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people suffering the same thing in Jamaica right at this minute. Right?
That's true.
And the problem is not just a problem of that detective at Mountain View. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a problem of government.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They can't treat whoever it was that murdered Mr. Wilmot. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to find evidence. If it was not a Jamaican, police have to have the evidence.
True.
Right? And they have to arrest and charge that person. They can't lock any of those people up in one of our filthy police jail cells, right? And hoping to find the evidence to charge them. They can't do that to those people. They can only do it to people like your brother, right?
True.
Who are Jamaicans, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something. You remember? No, you're probably not old enough to remember.
Maybe.
In 1976,
No.
a state of emergency was declared by the Michael Manley government, right?
Right.
The very Saturday night that state of emergency was declared, the Labour Party was having a meeting at a hotel in Montego Bay, right? The police went down to that hotel, right? With the necessary documentation signed by the minister, right?
Yeah.
To detain a number of those persons who were in the JLP meeting, right? Those are the first persons detained, right? Among the persons that they detained was a man named Ray Miles. He's still in Jamaica. He lives here,
Okay.
right? But it turned out that Mr. Ray Miles was a British subject, right? Traveling on a British passport.
So what they did?
The British High Commissioner wanted to know why Mr. Ray Miles had been detained, right?
Right.
And was about to be locked away. Well, had been locked away in a cell, yes,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The British High Commissioner wanted to know the form, said that he had been arrested as he had been taken into custody because he was a threat to national security. Right? But the minute the British High Commissioner started asking the question, they decided to release Mr. Ray Miles. He was no longer a threat to national security. Right? Immediately, it was pointed out that he was a British subject, not a Jamaican, a British subject. He ceased to be a threat to national security. They let him go. And he lived right here in Jamaica. Right? Continued to live, continued to do what he had been doing. Right? And is here up to today.
It's still here.
Immediately ceased to be never since been a threat to national security. Right? Now that is what is happening to your brother. Right? The other people who were locked up, they stayed locked up. Some of them for 9 months and more.
Wow.
What? You know why they were locked up?
No.
You know why they stayed in the jail cell, in the cell? You don't know why?
Because of the class that they're in?
No, Mom. They were Jamaicans.
They were Jamaicans?
They were Jamaicans, yes. The ones that were locked up and stayed locked up were Jamaicans. Right? So there wasn't any High Commissioner to come and ask, or ambassador to come and ask why they had been locked up. So they stayed locked up. Right? Because they were Jamaicans. And being a Jamaican in Jamaica, an ordinary, you're inferior. Right? Okay? Now, we're going to have to correct that if we want to get anywhere in our country.
That is true.
Right?
We have to.
Okay?
Right now I'm confused.
What you really need to do is to get a lawyer right?
Mm-hmm.
To go to court and ask for an order of habeas corpus.
An order of?
Well, he will know the habeas corpus,
Okay.
right? But you know,
He's even sick there. He's there vomiting because he's not eating
I beg your pardon?
properly.
I beg your pardon?
I'm saying, being there, he's not getting meals on time.
He's not getting meals on time.
Right. So
Yeah.
Sunday they called my mother saying that they had to take him to the they have to take him to the hospital because he's vomiting and all
my
that's
God.
happening up there.
All right, I tell you what. Hold on, I'm going to ask somebody to speak to you, right? And we'll get some more information, and then we can pursue it some more. Okay? Okay, hello?
Hello,
Yes?
Willie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm asking you a favor.
What is that?
Let me tell you a story. My little granddaughter, who is now 6 months old,
Uh-huh.
my daughter has been trying for the past 2 months to get her birth certificate.
Uh-huh.
So she took the hospital paper, the birth thing that they give you, certificate, the little one,
Uh-huh.
to Trevanion Road and stood in the line. Although she's breastfeeding, she stood in the line 2 hours to get to a lady named Mrs. Rowe.
Uh-huh.
When she got to the lady gave her some papers to go away, sign JP and bring it back. Which she did, and she stood in the line again, sacrificing the breastfeeding. When she reached back to Mrs. Rowe, she says, "No, but you're a married woman." She says, "Of course I'm a married woman." She says, "Well, these are the wrong papers that you filled in." So she gave her another paper because she was a married woman.
I beg your pardon?
So she gave her another application, though for a married woman.
Oh, there's a different application for a married woman.
I don't know what it was. Anyway,
What color was this lady?
black.
Eh?
She's black.
She's black.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And
And my daughter is
they
white.
assumed that she wasn't married.
Yes. She took I guess she has 1 million of those a day. She just hand them out like, candies.
Yes.
After she had to get JP and everything, she had to go back again, get it, go back up there. Guess what the woman tell her now?
What?
She don't have the book to write it down in because that's in Spanish town. So she can't issue the birth certificate. When will you get the book? Well, she don't know. That's about a month ago.
Uh-huh.
I called your dear friend Miss Oldness for the past 3 days. All I keep hearing, well, Miss Oldness won't be able to speak to you today because she's in meetings all day. Or I give me her assistant.
Uh-huh.
When I asked the assistant what was really going on about this book, she said, well, she'd have to inquire. So I waited half the day, and then eventually I called back again and got this Mrs. Rowe. And she said, well, the book don't come in yet, I said, lady, what kind of foolishness is this you're telling us? Nobody can come there and sign a book and get their child's birth certificate and she has to go away?
Uh-huh.
She tell me, well, if I think it's that important, she will let Spanish Town know to send it in. Now can you tell
Oh,
me?
she doesn't think it's important.
No, well, that didn't enter her mind. That we kept coming back all the time under these awful circumstances.
Uh-huh.
But she thought we were coming there for jokes. Right?
Uh-huh.
Now when you ring either office, nobody answers the phone. If you get as far as the one in Spanish Town, RGD's office.
Have you spoken to your friend Sister P on the matter?
No, I don't speak to Sister P on that.
You don't speak to Sister P?
Miss Oldness all the time.
I see.
And she tells you of these special services and how she's it's working so fine. I thought you were the best spokesman to see if you can find Miss Oldness. I always hear you speak to Miss Oldness.
But
For 3 days,
I don't know.
She's been in meetings all day.
Look here, we need to have this thing properly fixed. right? We cannot proceed on the basis that I am going to call Miss Holness and get the thing, because there are too many people who are seeking certificates of one kind or another and are having difficulty.
But
right?
I've tried for 3 days.
Yes.
And every time I ask...
Well, 3 days?
Yes.
3 days is nothing.
What?
3 days is nothing. There are people who are sitting down waiting for a year, 2 years.
No, I mean to talk to Miss Oldness. It's been in there 2 months. The child has an appointment next week, Wednesday, in the States for health.
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here. Australia 171 for 2.
Who?
Eh?
What?
Hello?
What, you have cricket on today?
Yes, man. West Indies playing Australia.
Where?
I hear Mr. Patterson is in the grandstand.
Why you always tell me where he is?
Eh?
Why are you always telling me where he is?
I gather he's there.
After my brother was Prime Minister, he disappeared. He stayed in his cubicle and wrote a book. Why Mr. Patterson is floating all over the place?
Why is he floating all over the place?
He's looking at clients?
I don't know. He's probably cheering on the West Indies because, you see, the party needs a good performance from the West Indies, to keep the euphoria up and give them a chance of winning They can't win on the basis of their performance. 3 wickets. 174 for 3. Another wicket down.
Listen, Mr. Patterson can't write a book, you see?
Huh?
He cannot write a book. It would be a bestseller.
He cannot write a book.
On his life as the Prime Minister.
It would be a bestseller.
And how he destroyed Jamaica. He can't write that. So he's gone to cricket matches.
Oh, yes?
Listen now.
But Sister P, I'm sure, will be able to write a book.
Well, the people will more understand her book. Than, you see, the elongated words that you and Mr. Patterson use, them don't bother read that.
Elongated word that who and Mr. Patterson?
Ask nephew.
Huh?
Why he's calling you Willie. I don't need no followers,
You don't need no followers?
Yeah, when he used to call you uncle, that's closer to you than Willie.
I see.
But yesterday I heard him with Willie.
I see.
Willie, please, call Miss Oldness.
Anyway, we have to, the problem of the RGD is a general governmental problem in Jamaica, right? The RGD is taking people's money and not performing. But the government, the Minister of Finance is doing the same thing. He's taxing the pants off people, getting their money.
And go to a cricket match.
Eh?
And go to a cricket match.
Well, I mean, the thing is that look at the roads, look at the schools, look at the hospitals, right? Everything in a mess.
Look at the girl whose brother is
our
in
fire brigade system was in a mess. The fire brigade had inadequate equipment until World Cup was coming. Yeah. We got a whole heap of new fire brigade, and one of them nearly killed the people on it.
Where are they?
Eh?
I thought the paper said this morning they were to come and they didn't come.
They what?
They were to come and they did not come.
Who was to come?
I thought that's what the paper said this morning.
That who was to come?
The fire brigades.
Oh.
And they did not come.
Oh, is that so? The fire brigade was to come and did not come?
Yeah.
Was to have come where?
To Jamaica.
The fire brigade?
The new ones.
Oh, you mean the new vehicles?
Yeah.
Oh, well, but they did get some new ones. Well, they were said to be new ones.
Well, they said it.
But they're down in St. Elizabeth, they were going to a fire the other day or coming back going to it or coming back from it.
Well,
and the unit disintegrated. And different parts of it were going in different directions.
What about when it was... When you had to
that's overstatement, but
truck, the truck with the sewer.
One part of it became disengaged from the other. Yes.
So that office not working good either.
Precisely, and therefore, what is needed is some basic governmental changes. Right? And that is what we must work for.
Who for who?
Eh?
Where are you going to find them?
Where are you going to find them?
Anybody go?
Well, I don't know. I leave that to you to determine.
No, I can't. If I can have my daughter go down early and the woman give her the wrong papers, says if she married, the next time she would bring back the single paper. She bring it back. Then the woman tell her, the book to enter it in isn't here, it's in Spanish though. The child has to go away for health reasons. That's 2 months ago. And up to now, we cannot get a birth certificate.
Yes.
Yesterday I called her and got through at 3:45, Miss Rowe, and she says, oh, well then, she'll tell them in Spanish down the urgency of it. The book don't reach there yet, you know.
Yes.
So what do they do when people stand in line?
Boy, I don't know. Get yourself a lawyer and take them to court.
I couldn't, you know.
Eh?
I think that Miss Oldness,
Ask the court for an order of mandamus.
Miss Oldness should listen more to the people of Jamaica than being in meetings. What is she in meetings about?
What is she what?
What's she having meetings for?
Meeting?
Yes, every
Where?
day that I call, they tell me you won't be able to speak to her today because she has meetings all day. What is she doing in meetings?
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether these are
improving the place.
church meetings or other kinds of meetings.
And I'm asking her, please send the book to Trevanion Road so Miss Rowe can send the birth certificate.
But all you have to do, I mean, you are such a supporter of Sister P. All you have to do is give her a call.
No, what they say is, you're the woman on the radio all the time. That's my curse, talking to you. So could you please call Miss Oldis, ask her to send the birth certificate? We have to meet a deadline where health is concerned.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Hello?
Hello, good morning, Mr. Perkins.
Morning to you, sir. How are you?
Well, I tell you, I saw...
Tell me something.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't in St. Mary. It was in Manchester.
Yeah.
That there was something like a tornado yesterday.
Yes, I understood.
Eh?
Yes, I heard on the radio.
Yes, I'm not hearing you very well, though.
So I understand from what I heard this morning on
Yes.
the news. Miss Portia's there, Sally Portia's.
Eh?
Sally Portia's.
Yes.
About it.
Yes.
So, well, St. Mary can't stand anything again.
I beg your pardon?
St. Mary can't stand anything like that. But, Mutty, I always hear people complain about the Registrar General's apartment. I've had 2 experiences now. I sent for a marriage certificate, right? And my name always spelled Barrington, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y, Warman. And I get it back with B-A-R-R-Y, A-N-T-O-N-Y. Yeah. Now, my eldest daughter is Ingrid Elizabeth Warman, born at Port Mary Hospital. She has passports and everything and all that. She called me the other day from America and said, Daddy, please get some copies of my birth certificate for me because company which I work with want me to travel all over the place and she needed it. Mr. Perkins, I went down there to St. Anne's myself and then look up the thing. And there's no record of any Elizabeth Warman. My daughter nor my son John Philip Warman.
Then how did she get to be in the United States?
That's what I want to know is a dopey passport she gets. Well, I tell you.
Look here.
Well, that thing there, but
let me tell you something,
it looked
you see.
like when they were changing over from the other system to this computerized system. They don't transcribe off the names properly. That is the only reason I could see for that.
Look here.
It's sheer incompetence and
incompetence? The degree of incompetence that is going on down there, you see, is, I mean, it's disgraceful.
Yeah. I mean, it's my children.
And what is the government doing about it?
Absolutely nothing. And as you talk about the government, Mr. Perkins, they said that we're celebrating the proclamation of the end to slavery. But that was physical slavery.
No, it wasn't the end of slavery. It was the end of the slave trade.
The end of the slave trade. But that was physical slavery.
Yes.
When will we get the end of mental slavery, economic slavery, political slavery? I mean to say, imagine we are an independent, supposed to be sensible state. And here we have a prime minister, aided by the chairman of the party. Well, I don't give much sense to the information minister. I do not think he's overburdened with brains. That's why he's so autocratic. I know when he speaks with a tone that shows that, well, boy.
Who is this?
Mr. William Buchanan.
Oh.
I'm not impressed by his behavior at all. But when they talk, you have a country that is in the grip of despair. Everything going wrong. The hospital service is horrible. The education, the roads don't talk about. And they're telling us that, look, we're back. We had a good opening ceremony. That is the reason why. No, what do they think Jamaican people for?
Well.
And jump him up about a stump Golding, a stump him. All way and a sketchy and a stump him.
Mr. Buchanan was saying that?
No, Mr.
Pickersgill. Oh, yes.
And then Buchanan talk about the greatest victory, 52 seats. And that is 85%.
Well, I should have thought.
100%. They're going to win 65 or 70 seats.
Hold on for a moment for me. Thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Hello?
Mrs. Orb.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Look here. I had an email from some listener recently saying that it was not true that the contract entered into by the government and the operators of the toll road exclude the possibility of the restoration of the railway in the area served by the toll road.
Yes. That's not true. But I mean, the thing is that your email writer, whoever it is, was probably at the meeting by Mr. Kingsley Thomas not too long ago called "What Did We Do Wrong?" or "Where Did We Go Wrong?" or something like that. The last meeting that I think was a public meeting.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, your loop, I can hear your loop in my phone. I don't know whether that's just my phone. Okay. Yes, the wording of that particular section of the concession agreement is very oddly done. It's section 25.8, and if the writer of the email would look at section 25.8, he would find that it goes like this. The developer shall be entitled to a payment of or an adjustment to the compensation amount to reflect any reduction in traffic levels that arise solely from carrying out works by or on behalf of the government of Jamaica, which A, provides a new rail public transport passenger link between Spanish Town and Kingston, or B, enhances the speed or capacity of competing roads within the transport corridor served by the toll road. That would negate that, right? But then it says, except those schemes or projects which included in the list below, and one of the things in the list, subsection 7, this is now on B, subsection 7, we have the refurbishment of the single-track passenger rail link between Kingston, Spanish Town and Williamsfield, and Spanish Town and Ewerton to the level operating, now this is very clear and this is very important, to the level operating before the closure of the rail link for the carriage of passengers. Which means to say, if you put back anything more than that single-track passenger link, which, people are not going back to the old pit toilets when they can get flush ones, right?
Yes.
If we don't put anything back except that, and I don't know of any rail people who would be willing to put back a single-track link there. If you put anything more than that, right, then you have to compensate the people who are the agents for the toll road. Right.
So you can, in fact,
you can put back a single link.
You can restore the railway between Kingston and Williamsfield to the level of operation that it was before the toll road came into operation.
That's right.
But then it wasn't operating at all.
Exactly.
So look here. So you can't restore the railway then?
Well,
without compensating.
All right, go back further to when it was operating. I mean, presumably this is what they intended. But it was only...
I don't know. That is not what it says.
Well, it's not what it says, and I suppose lawyers could go into court and fight a great battle about this. But the thing is that how can you say that you must put it back? How can you say that this is what will happen when really and truly the rail link was not operating? But since they say operating before the closure of the rail link for the carriage of the passengers.
That's what it said?
Yeah, in that bracket right at the end. You remember I read that this was very important? To the level operating before the closures of the rail link for the carriage of passengers.
Before the closure of the rail link.
Closure of the rail link. So what is happening here is they're saying you can put it back at the single link, but you cannot do anything more than that. And the point is it was not economically viable.
Yes.
At the single link. That's why it fell apart in the beginning. So what they're telling us is put it back so it won't be economically viable, or don't put it back at all. Because if you put it back on anything else, we're entitled to compensation.
Yes.
You must give us compensation for the money that we have lost. Right? So I don't see how you can define this as this is not true. You are economically saying this is true.
Yes.
Right? That's my problem, and that's one that we have all
had. Look here. They're also saying that thing that you read is also saying that the government cannot improve the quality of roads.
That's right, within the transport corridor.
I beg your pardon?
Exactly, but then it gives a list of 6 roads that it doesn't include in that. Right? I can give you the list if you like.
Which are those?
The Northern Jamaican Development Project, improving the Northern Coastal Road from Negril to Fair Prospect. These are all exceptions now. 2, upgrading the 3 miles roundabout in Kingston. 3, improvement to the Jose Marti and Old Harbor roundabouts on the Spanish Town bypass. And 4, widening of Washington Boulevard in Kingston between Malines Road and Dehaney Park Avenue. Nowhere else.
But these are all roads that feed into or are fed into by the toll roads.
That's right. That's right. But these are the exceptions. So the government's going to do this presumably for weeks. Expansion or upgrading of Port Bustamante in Kingston, and expansion and upgrading of the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston and the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. So those 7 things are the exceptions to this general rule of compensation within the...
Hold on. How does Montego Bay... They are not operating the North Coast Highway.
Well, you remember the original... No, they're not. But this is written into the understanding with the government. And I suppose that they were supposed to get to Montego Bay when they first started out. I mean,
Oh, yes.
Remember?
Ah, yes.
And therefore, I suppose that would be sort of hinging on where they're... touching on where they're going. But I don't really understand what it has to do with them. Unless they were planning already to do another part of the highway that has come up since then.
Boy, it is almost as if we have been sold out to these foreigners.
Well, this I'm afraid is what we saw when we read this concession agreement. Because
I hear Mr. Steve Kamlani saying that he wants to lead to go to the court with a what's it called?
Oh, you mean when you stop work, when
Yes.
you stop the work on it?
No. He's talking about an action against a public service company.
Okay.
For overcharging and otherwise taking advantage of people.
All right.
But you know what? A class action.
Class action, yes.
One gets the impression that so many of these companies that are coming in here are, they're sort of put into a position where they can impose conditions and
Look, Matty, we've got to be
generally
very careful
take
with these
advantage of
overseas
people.
companies. We really have, because we think we're so very, very good at international contracts. And the fact of the matter is that this particular company, Briggs, I think their income is probably considerably more than the income that Jamaica receives annually. I mean, their annual income is more than that. This is the third largest contractual firm in the world. When you're dealing with people like this, they have ready-made contracts and huge amounts of very, very well-known lawyers who are setting up these contracts that are on their behalf, not on Jamaica's behalf, on their behalf. And when we agree to this, we have all sorts of things in here, in this, that are we're not used to. We don't normally deal with this sort of thing. And we can look at this and say, this doesn't matter that we can't put it back. But if you destroy a load of toilets, right, of the pit toilets, you're going to put back pit toilets? I mean, aren't you going to try for flush toilets? I mean, why on earth would you want to put back pit toilets? We've moved on from that time.
Well, if you go the route of this government, they might probably want to replace them with scandal bags.
Yeah, well, it would... Certainly what you're writing into this is that you want to put back the pit toilets.
Yes.
And if you don't put back the pit toilets, then you have to compensate the company that is going to lose business by your having flush toilets.
Yes.
This is absolute nonsense, and it doesn't make any sense. And at one point or the other, somebody said that we were making something out of nothing, someone from Briggs, and that of course they would give us the right to put back the railway or put back the this or put back the that. But the fact is, this contract, it shouldn't be there, and at any time they can take us to court about it.
Incidentally, I gather that there's an ad. Hold on just a moment for me, please. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
So you're telling me about something...
Yes, there is an ad, I gather, on page A4 of today's Lena.
I haven't seen it yet. Tell me about it.
I haven't actually seen it. Somebody called me and told me about it this morning. But I'm looking at the page now. It has to do with... Oh, yes, here it is. Toll Road Act. It has to do with the Toll Road Act.
What about the Toll Road Act?
I think what I was told was that the person who was telling me said that she couldn't understand it, right? But but it has something to do with increasing the toll rates.
Oh.
Notice of intention to increase toll.
Yeah.
Under section 8.3 of the Toll Road Act.
Yes.
And
they're entitled to increase the toll levels, and we're not entitled to stop them.
Hold on now. To members of the public and interest groups.
Yes.
And it says,
the interest
it is
groups
the intention of the Minister of Housing, Transport, Water and Works to amend the Highway 2000 part of Phase 1 toll order 2000 made under Section 8.3 of the Toll Road Act to provide for an increase in the toll payable in respect of each class of vehicle or other conveyance in relation to the operation of part of the Highway 2000 Phase 1 toll road. So what is happening is that they're putting up the rates.
That's right. But they've been announcing that they're about to do that for some time. I'm just mildly surprised, and I think that what they're trying to do is hold it down until after the election. But I would.
Yes, it's a little odd to find the notice being put out now.
Yeah, but I mean they are entitled to put up the rates every 6 months, forever. I mean forever, as long as they have the toll road. It can go on being put up every 6 months to whatever level they feel they can put it up. And there is nothing.
I mean, but hold on. Who you mean? The operators or
the operaters, which is effectively Bouygues, yes, but they're the operators. I think
they are the ones that prescribe the increase.
Yes. Oh yes.
I beg your pardon?
Oh yes.
And what? The government just endorses it?
Yes. Yes. We don't really have anything very much to do with that at all, until such time as we get a cut. And that is to say the government gets a cut, which is sometime on. It's not now. The interesting thing about all of this is that, and I find this fascinating actually, when we started off, the idea was that the people who came in were bringing all the money with them. But you see, when they tried to get money from international banks, they couldn't. The international banks
and the government had to guarantee that.
That's right. And so the government ended up doing the main money.
Or at any rate, they said that they couldn't.
Yeah. Well, they said that they couldn't. But then, at that point now, when they found they couldn't get the money, they borrowed the money from this government, who borrowed it from other people.
Yes.
And now the situation is that the same conditions apply as if the company coming
had brought the money in.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly so.
Lord.
So
in whose interest does the government govern?
I don't know. I don't know. And I tell you, one of the things that has happened to
I wonder how many votes does Bouygues have?
How many votes does Bouygues have?
Yes.
I don't know. But I would have thought that Portmore had rather a lot.
Of votes?
Of votes.
Yes, but that isn't helping them at all.
Well, it doesn't seem...
Bouygues obviously has more votes.
Well, you see, I mean, it's very difficult to when you agree to something like this, it's very difficult to unagree to it,
Yes.
I mean, we have to take this to London, We can't just deal with this in the courts here.
Yes, but I don't think that even taking it to London is going to help because the agreement is there.
I don't know. I would have thought... I've just received a very rude note saying this is not true. The toll increases are determined by a formula based on the exchange rates. That is what is written in the concession agreement, I believe.
I see.
But that formula is largely dictated, as I understand it, by the company in question. After all, it is they that is supposed to be being paid back, if you understand what I'm saying here, except for what we just said, that in fact the money that was supposed to be brought in by them was not brought in by them because the various international agencies that they had hoped to get money from would not give them the money. And therefore we have ended up...
let me tell you something. You just said Bouygues is an international company.
Yes.
Right? A very wealthy company.
A very wealthy company.
Right?
Yes.
And well-connected company.
Yes.
Well,
indeed.
It's a European company.
Yeah.
Surely Bouygues is able to borrow money when it wants to borrow money.
Yes, but the thing is that it would have borrowed money on the basis of the project.
Yes.
Banks don't lend money to whatever if they feel that they're going to lose that money. And in fact, Bouygues could have set up their own money, but they don't want to take the chance on losing it either.
Yes.
Who wants to take the chance on losing all the money? The real problem here is that Bouygues borrows money because it doesn't want to lose money, and in the way that businessmen don't want to lose money.
Yes.
So they don't take their own money. They go to other people. They went to the international banks of Spain, Belgium, UK, Canada, France, and then they went to the Inter-American Development Bank and the Caribbean Development Bank and the corporation Adina de Fomento, the Exim Bank, the Multilateral Investment Agreement Agency, the International Finance Corporation, the CDC Capital Partners or the Commonwealth Development Corporation, the European Investment Bank, and CDC Capital Amerique. All of these banks said no. The project was not viable.
The project was not viable.
Yes.
Oh.
The H2K project is not feasible without support from these organizations, and none of them, this is from the Bouygues bid, none of them are willing to provide firm commitments at this stage to support our bid.
So the government provided the money?
Their concerns relate to the affordability of Phase 1, and in particular, the potential reliance upon the initial U.S. $120 million subsidy and requirement of outgoing operating phase subsidies. So what they're really saying is no. Right?
Yes.
And furthermore, now this is interesting also, they continue to say in the Bouygues bid that due to a lack of firm support from the multilateral and export credit agencies upon whom the financing is dependent, it has not been possible to present any financing plans for Phase 2, which is, of course, the phase that they have just gone into.
Or are about to go into.
Are about to go into.
This is the one to Oterias.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
That's right. Now, we some time ago, a small group of us, looked at an article in the paper on Friday, September the 29th of 2006, and completely went nuts because that article suggests that when you give a company a contract, a national, a contract to do a national project like this, it can end up going any which way it wants.
Yes.
This would seem to suggest. In other words, we gave out a plan, and the plan was generally agreed to. The plan was going down the south coast, you remember, and going across the island. And we ended up by having another plan altogether, and we were told in the course of the article, and the quotation, all right, let's go through this. The contracts, in this country, the Contractor General insists that all contracts above a certain level must be open to competitive bidding.
Yes.
Apparently this is the law, this is a guideline, I've been told, but that's what it is. Phase 1, Kingston to Williamsfield, including the Portmore Causeway, which was not in the original plans, but anyway. Phase 1 was the only thing that was bid on, an open bidding.
Uh-huh.
Right? And that bid, which was accepted, was for $349 million US.
Uh-huh.
Right? But they only actually proceeded with 1A, which is a section of Phase 1.
Yes.
That was the Kingston to Sandy Bay and Portmore Causeway.
Yes.
And the bid for that, the allocation for that, was $141 million US.
Yes.
Okay? And now the government says that Bouygues is to do Phase 2A. The Bushy Park to Oterias leg.
Yes.
That leg, there has been no competitive bidding on. Right? Instead of 1B, Sandy Bay to Williamsfield, because it's more economical again.
Uh-huh.
But the article that I was reading says, and I quote, "So, to accommodate the ambitions of the state without breaching the existing contract, Phase 1B of the highway will be redefined as the next stage of Highway 2000, whether it's going to Williamsfield or Oterias," said Reed. This is Wayne Reed. Right? So in other words, we can send it off in any direction we like.
Yes.
We don't have to stick by the law.
God help us. Thank you very much, Mrs. Orr.
Okay.
All the best to you.
Right. Bye-bye.
Good. Okay. Thank you very much. Back here online. Hello?
Yes, Mutty.
Oh, yes, sir. How are you?
Well, I tell you, frustrated and angry.
Uh-huh.
You've always said as the intellectuals are the people who got the most education and the highest education. are really the people who have let down the people of this country, you know. When I looked at Sunday's Observer and see here the agenda section 3, World Cup points, right? And then under the heading, Portia holding advantage as golding out hit wicket. Written by Mr. Claude Robinson.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Who has always sat at the seat of power. Who is up at the university there teaching students. And good God, this is a type of nonsense and drivel and circus that they provided for the Jamaican people.
The people are going to vote for Cricket World Cup.
Can you imagine, Mutty? What vision do they have of us? Jump canoe dance all day long? Every time everything come up, give them John Canoe circus to jump up and down. And you know what I mean? Let them stay in their places. Nothing to inspire our youth, right? When they what they did with the students from the university for $40 million. You don't hear these intellectuals coming out and say, but this is the best crop of our young people. Let us find a way to keep them in school. You don't hear them giving that type of leadership. But coming now and drawing nonsense about World Cup cricket, Portia lick 6 and Bruce Trump. I mean, it is a motive. What is going to happen to us?
Well,
there's hardly any leadership in this country.
No.
When you listen to a certain club, they have their road scholars, right? And when you're talking about the sordid affair that traffic guru is, him jump up and pile it up about, I was in the Senate, and the real thing is political contributions, seeking to divert the attention of the Jamaican people to the corruption and what is happening in this country. Two road scholars they have there. What is the use of road scholars to this country?
Well,
to use their education to keep the poor people in ignorance so that they might strut their thing. Hear them on the radio this morning again with the same thing. How bright they are at university and light best west. He must have been a bright man. But most of them only have book knowledge and bright, can chat foolishness. But they have started a business to help, to give work to the people, to build up the wealth of a nation. No, these are only poseurs talking around. I mean, this is money. What we have is some educated people in this country that using their education to create wealth. But to fool up the little poor people, that's a man, life tough. But see, I've World Cup cricket. Huh?
I really...
Where are we going? Where's the leadership? What is happening?
I looked at that thing that Mr. Pickersgill said.
Yes.
I find it amazing that he should have committed himself to such a statement.
Yes, Mr.
You know?
Yes.
The World Cup
get that bounce out
is
of
going to revive the party's hope of winning the fifth term.
Yes.
In other words, their record of performance
cannot be put out.
Can't reasonably expect to be re-elected on that basis.
Yes.
So, as Mr. Patterson himself said at the party conference, that the Sister P was not only the party's best hope, but its only hope. Yes. Was not the party's best hope, but its only hope. Right?
You know.
Now, apparently Sister P has fallen down on the job. And it is the World Cup that is down.
No, Mutty. Look, the other day, Peter Phillips gave a speech about the tragedy of the education system and what it leading to the more crime, the political system. We expected these so-called intellectuals and political leaders to address that matter instead of jumping up like John Canoe dancers talking about World Cup cricket.
Yes.
What the hell is World Cup cricket going to help the poor people? Is it going to give them education? Mutty? Is it going to put one more bed in a hospital?
I don't know.
What is it? All it is going to do is create more taxes to pay for the money that they borrow. Right?
But, how
World Cup cricket going to contribute to us,
You know what World Cup cricket has done? it has given us a wonderful opportunity
Yes.
to see the contempt in which we are held by the government.
Exactly.
Right?
The utter contempt. Because if
Hospitals that were hospitals
yes.
that we had to put up with as a people, right? Have to be fixed and put in good order because they were expected the World Cup people to be coming.
And you wonder why poor black people are bleached.
Roads that were in a mess have to be repaired and made drivable. For
not
the same
for the
reason.
Jamaican people. They're not good enough people. And they have the effort to come out and say that this after World Cup cricket we will benefit from these things.
Well,
we have no self-respect. And we have a husband or a father.
There was a picture.
That can't feed your picnic, never give your wife good clothes to wear and things.
There's a picture in the Observer on Sunday of a section of a part of the I think Sabina Park.
Yes.
I think it had roughly 80 odd seats in it.
Yes.
And only one was occupied.
Exactly.
I thought when I saw it that that somebody had, set this up as a kind of joke.
Mutty.
Or it was a practice
tell you
session.
how they're going to find the $2 million a month. And I'm certainly going to be more than that. To maintain the white elephant in Trelawney, right? And if that is going to cost $2 million a month, the much bigger facility at Sabina Park,
yes.
Who is going to maintain it? Kingston Cricket Club can't maintain it. Jamaica Cricket Association can't maintain it. Who going to maintain it?
You.
The poor little black people of this country. Right? Them GCT gonna go up. Everything gonna go up to keep white elephant there. Right? For them to almost masturbate them intellectual capacity. Boy, Mutty, I tell you, boy, I am so angry that people who should be provided leadership is pontificated.
Yeah.
Yes, man. See, well, come cricket, come, man. We fool the nigger them again. We fool them again, man.
Well, it looks as if the PNP might be getting a lift today. Australia don't seem to be doing all that wonderfully well.
I really want the West Indies to win. You know what I mean?
Well, that is, if the West Indies win, the PNP are well on the way to the fifth term. They're getting a boost.
Unlike you, I don't believe that Jamaica. I believe Marcus Garvey, up you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. And what Marcus Garvey was preaching is self-respect and self-esteem.
Yes.
You understand? Marcus Garvey wasn't promising them any World Cup cricket or
Mark,
any circle.
I tell you something, sir.
Yeah.
Those who are assuming that the Jamaican people are stupid,
they might be in for
a bit of a problem because I was listening last night, Nationwide.
Yes.
Nationwide had a
Vox Pop?
Well, it wasn't a Vox Pop, it was a discussion, a call-in section.
Oh, yeah.
On the question of the World Cup and, I think the World Cup and the election. No, what did they call it? Cricket Beyond the Boundaries or something like that. And, the opinions that were being expressed by people on that,
Yes.
I don't think Mr. Pickersgill would have been very happy to hear them.
Well, I am very happy to hear that. You know what I mean? Because, I was reading that there's a little publication out about a lecture that Marcus Garvey gave at Halifax in Canada. And it makes mighty good reading,
Oh, yeah?
And if we could get that to our young people to read, you know what I mean? This man has a consistent...
I haven't seen that. I would love to see it.
I would love to get a copy of it.
Where is it?
He gave a link. It was at Mr. Graham's supermarket. I bought it in Highgate about 2 weeks ago. I just lent it to a university young lady.
It's a book?
Yes, it's a small book. A lecture that Marcus Garvey gave at a meeting in Halifax. In Canada. It's very inspiring, Mutty. That is the type of leadership we need.
Yes.
You know? And that is what we expect from our university people to follow on that line.
I wonder, our good friend Professor Nettleford was speaking at the United Nations yesterday.
R-E-S-P-E-C-K.
R-E-S-P-E-C-K.
Yes, yes.
We haven't heard anything about it in the news.
Not at all.
I wonder what is happening.
I mean, this Don that was honored by Oxford University.
Yes, indeed.
This great man. Puppy show, buddy. Puppy show. You know, you see, it's not our people have really failed, you know. It's our leadership have failed. Because when you consider that, buddy, how much years? 1962 independence.
Yes.
2006. And people still want black people to go chop kid. If they had set out to educate the people of this country, they would be, if they don't have mechanical harvesters,
the preservation of the sugar industry. The preservation of this sugar industry requires an uneducated population. And you know, workforce.
I don't want to besmirch anybody's reputation, but remember, G. Arthur Brown was held up as such a great bright person.
The sugar industry is a sponge.
It's a sop.
To sop up unwanted labor.
Christ. That is what they think of the little poor black people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And right now,
hold on just a moment. Okay, thank you very much. 248 for 5 with 6 overs left.
Okay.
That sounds like the West Indies have a chance.
Yes, they might have a look in there if Gail gets off. You know, if Gail gets off and Samuels, Sawa and Lara, of course.
Mark, you know, I haven't been able to watch it or to follow it, but I'm beginning to wonder whether what the wicket is like.
Well, it's not as good as the last wicket.
Maybe it's a bowler's wicket.
Yeah,
this doesn't sound like the wicket on which Lara made his 400 runs.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I gather it's a totally new stadium.
Oh,
yes.
I see.
So this doesn't sound like a batting wicket.
No. But wanted to come back, we have to free ourselves from this slavery to the political parties, right? And I'm saying not just PNP, but JLP. We have to develop self-respect and a love for Jamaica.
Yes.
And not let us be tribalized.
Not only that, so we need to develop some self-respect.
Self-respect, self-esteem.
Right, some self-esteem.
Yes.
Right?
You know what I mean?
I mean, I was talking about seeing on television on Sunday night.
Yes.
A famous American singer.
Yes.
Jazz singer.
Yeah.
Famous entertainer. Black woman, she used to be. Right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I had to be told.
That she was a black woman.
That she was a black woman.
And then, you know, but to be fair, quite honest with you, the velvety look of a black woman, right? I've never seen any white woman or any other color have that smoothness of skin. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's something about black women.
Yes, I don't know. I mean...
You know, that is absolutely beautiful.
And here in Jamaica, we're getting into the same bleaching thing.
Yeah, but then again, Mutty.
And the browning.
Yeah.
You know?
Getting whiteness. But Mutty, you must remember again, you know, it's something go deeper than that. Why is it that especially those who shout about black power the most always look a white woman from behind? Let us face these things, you know. Let these things come out to the open. We have so much beautiful black Jamaicans.
I can think of one or two such...
you know, I would say about them when you talk about black. A white woman... No, I have nothing against white people. My father is white, my mother black, right? And things. So I am not a racist.
And hold on, sir. And so was John Brown.
Exactly.
John Brown was...
a white man.
A white man.
Yeah. You get what I mean?
And, well, I could
but
go
I would like to see more of these intellectuals and these successful black men marrying more black women, you know what I mean? And I would like to see, you know, that is a cue that these poor girls trying to bleach, you know, because...
But I gather that not gather, men are trying to bleach.
Yes, men are even trying to bleach too, because there is it's just in the society that to be brown or to be white.
I mean, somebody must be really contemptuous of them.
Self to do a thing like
to do that.
You know? Boy, I tell you, it's really... But, you know, Mutty, as I said...
even in the dance hall nowadays,
exactly.
the browning is highly esteemed.
Esteemed.
Right.
My God. Boy, I tell you, I am all for the black woman. I think they are the most gorgeous things on earth.
Yes,
but Mutty, as Mrs.
I tell you something. You know where you want to see a black woman? On a snow
Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus.
In a winter in
God.
London. Or one of these European cities.
Yes, man.
Somehow they, you know, I mean, if there are not too many of the, you see one black woman suddenly appear on the street.
Yeah.
Crowded with a whole lot of white people.
Yeah, and she just stand out there.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lord.
I find it.
It stirred the loins, but...
yes.
But, you know, we have to, you know, Marcus Garvey and what Bob Marley sing that out, free ourselves from mental slavery.
Yes.
You know, and, you know, Norman Manley said we got political independence, and now we should go along for economic independence.
Yes.
And you know, if we had gone for economic, we had started out until Michael Manley came and wrecked up the thing.
Yes.
Because we would have been asking this man Trinidad for little gas, and when them turned we down, we got, you know what I mean? It's a self-respecting nation, you know?
Yes.
To be asking Chavez, I would definitely know what Chavez is about. You know, what is his agenda? Is that Chavez loves us? Chavez wants to set up himself as a ruler of the Americas.
Well, he wants
you know what I mean? If we're independent economically, we buy gas from where we get the cheapest gas. We don't have to depend on a man to give us. And that is where we fall down. And you know, that was, you know, I heard Peter Phillips' speech, you know, at the part that he spoke about when Norman Manley started the revolution in education. I don't quite go along with that. I think he was putting his other politics there, but I'm not wrong with that, you know. But we were coming along, and if we had developed on the basic education system that the
in fact, you know, in fact, that Norman Manley Glasspool education system was ill thought out, you know. Because what had happened was that the elementary school system that had been in place, we had some first-class elementary schools.
First class,
right?
the third
but
year.
They had been allowed to degenerate under the politics.
Yes.
With the teachers becoming involved in politics and all this kind of thing. Right? And when that Norman Manley government set up the 10 plus or whatever it was, 11 plus exam, right? What immediately the result of it was that the children who won the scholarships were children whose parents had been able to afford to send them to prep schools.
Right.
So don't talk foolishness about Norman Manley starting any educational thing. And what's his name? Edwin Allen recognized that. And that is why he brought in the 70-30, which only made the thing worse. Because you were sending into the secondary schools a lot of young people who were ill prepared by this arbitrary 70-30 thing. But on the other hand,
you're talking about compound interest. It resulted nowadays that children coming out of the primary schools into the new secondary cannot read and write.
Yes.
You see what I mean? So what was the way to fix the problem? To start at the beginning.
To start at the bottom.
Early childhood, to elementary,
Absolutely.
go through the high schools and then university.
Absolutely.
No, but they were just interested in saying, see me, I allow you to go to this school and that.
And I tell you something, sir. I tell you something. This idea of that secondary school, let me tell you something. Those old elementary schools produced people who were literate and numerate,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And if you can read and
could help
develop
yourself, yeah.
a passion, an affinity for reading,
Yeah.
right? And you have what we had begun to set up, a library system.
Yes.
If you
yes.
develop a culture where people want to read,
Yes.
whatever you do, you're a mechanic, you're a whatever, gardener, whatever,
Yes.
you read,
Yes.
right? You don't need much more than that, you know. You don't have to go to secondary school to
No.
to develop your intelligence
Yeah. But look,
so on.
Marcus Garvey didn't go to Jamaica College.
Precisely.
Or Monroe College.
Absolutely.
Or Wilmot
Yes.
College. Eh?
Right?
And what the books, the philosophy that he laid down there, right? Tell me which one of these Rhodes scholars, university scholars who go to Harvard, write anything.
Well, there you are.
1/4.
Yes.
Eh?
There
because
you are.
Marcus Garvey is, in fact, stirred the Negro race, not
Yes.
just in Jamaica, you know.
Yes.
But throughout
We could have
Africa.
had a
Sure.
highly educated population,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Based primarily upon a basic education system, a primary school system, a first-class primary
class.
school system,
Yeah, uh-huh.
right? Okay. Secondary school, you go on to secondary school, you go on to university if that is what you want,
Yeah.
right? But the people who do not make it to secondary school or to university
Yes.
don't have to be literate,
No.
right?
Don't.
There's
Everybody
no
should
reason
be
why they
literate.
should be.
Everybody. But you have going to get a copy of that blicker book there.
Uh-huh.
That Marcus, this speech that he gave in Halifax.
Yes.
I tell you, it's a wonderful exhortation
Okay.
to black people.
Yes.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay. Do we have time for another? Let's squeeze in one. Hello?
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
How are you? I've been, yesterday I waited nearly an hour and a half.
Uh-huh.
And today,
I am very sorry.
don't be sorry, because today is another, because I find this program very edifying.
Yeah.
My
Thank you.
good friend from St. Mary there seem to have a running commentary every day. You know me all right, you know.
Uh-huh.
So me ask him, go easy, man. Take a 20 minutes and cool.
Yes.
Now I have some serious thing I want to talk to you, but maybe I have to call you back after the...
Well, I tell you what.
Yes, sir.
Just hold on.
Yes, sir.
And we'll organize that.
I will be very good.
Okay? Hold on and give your number to somebody.
Yes.
We'll call you
Okay.
back after the break.
Thank you.
Okay? Okay, that just about takes us to news time. We'll be back here in about 20 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you online. Did you hear the former Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Rex Nettleford? Well, let me just read the item that came across in the news. Professor Rex Nettleford has called for recognition of the African diaspora within the context of globalization. He's calling for recognition of the African diaspora within the context of globalization. I wonder what the devil that means. Professor Nettleford was delivering the keynote address at a recent United Nations program commemorating the 200th anniversary of the transatlantic slave trade. No, that's not, well, I don't know. I can't rely on this because what was being commemorated was not the 200th anniversary of the transatlantic slave trade. What was being commemorated was the 200th anniversary of the end of the ending of the transatlantic slave trade. Right? So I don't know what my friend Professor, he emphasized that the issue of dignity and freedom should continue to be on the agenda of concerns and positive action for the African diaspora in the new millennium. Professor Nettleford further noted that one challenge facing the African diaspora is to have the third world share in the positive impacts of globalization relative to industrialized countries. What the devil does that mean? To have the third world share in the positive impacts of globalization relative to industrialized countries. So the third world will remain unindustrialized, underdeveloped, but will share in the impacts of globalization. That is to say, what? That they'll share the money with us? I don't know, it would be very interesting. I would love to have the professor on this program. And we could go into all those matters, the positive impacts of globalization. Okay. We are almost at... Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
I suggest that you call the professor on after he give you the assurance that he has emancipated himself from mental slavery. If you give you that assurance, then you can call him on.
But I should just love to have been there listening to it,
I know. And are you familiar with DJing in Jamaica?
With what?
DJ.
Well,
there are some
from
DJs,
time to time I've heard them.
Yeah, well, there are some DJs whose writing and lyrics have some meaning.
Yes.
There are some DJs whose lyrics just rhyme.
Yes.
and use some current words.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, man.
So what are you saying? What are you saying? That the professor is a DJ?
Well... Mr. Perkins.
I hope that we get some more information about this wonderful speech that he made.
This is terrible, Mr. Perkins.
Well,
I don't know. They said words have very little meaning.
Well, I don't know.
Context, and this I think is a manipulation of the context.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I would love to see the full text of it.
Yes.
I hope that that later on the television will have some live clips.
It will be nice. It will be nice and edifying, I think.
Yeah. And the papers will publish the text of it, Maybe on the weekend, I don't know.
Yes. Mr. Perkins. Hello?
Yeah.
I told you I didn't mind.
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay. Thank you very much. We're back here with you.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
I have 3 matters I want to discuss with you. But
yes.
Before I go into them, I want to say thanks to that lady for edifying us, one that spoke to some of the provisions of the government provisions to the people who, the North Coast Highway, not the Highway 2000.
Highway 2000.
Yes.
Mrs. Bethel.
Mrs. Beth, okay.
Yes.
I remember seeing both of you in St. Anne's Bay.
In St. Anne's Bay?
Yes.
Oh?
You remember we had that thing there? We had that thing by the Anglican Church Hall. I think she was there.
Oh, yes. Well, that was long ago.
Well,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a St. Anne's Bay man all the same, you know.
You?
Yes.
I know the family well, man.
Yes, I went to school down there.
Yes, I know. No wonder you're so bright. Mr. Perkins, she used an analogy about going back to the pit toilets, which is not such a good analogy because it is being contemplated to go back to pit toilets.
That is being contemplated?
Yes, where you had your program from the National Water Resources Commission, and that was one of the things because you have a risk with people, for example, in the Oteres area, up in Parrytown.
Yes.
Where if you use the flush toilet, it is said that you're likely to get contaminated water into the fork, into the domestic water system fork. So better you make your deposit stable, right?
Make the deposits.
Yes, human deposit. It can stay. You can change your pit toilet around, but you don't want to flush it into the fork.
Yes.
Yes. Also, they have the same problem in the St. Catherine area, where you might be able to. Well, if you continue with the flush toilets, you're likely to saturate the aquifers down there with contaminated water. So that is being contemplated.
I see.
Now for your question, sir. Would you describe Jamaica as a quasi country? 1, 2, a first world country, or 3, quasi first world country?
Well, I don't think that Jamaica is any kind of first world country.
All right.
What do we mean by first world?
Well, first world? Well, we up there with America and all those.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do those countries, what is it that characterizes those countries?
Well, they have, most of the time, a stable economy.
The economy is not just stable.
Yeah, well, that is
it's highly developed.
And highly developed and with the
in other words, hold on just a moment.
Potential for continued development.
Yes. In the process, in their economies, they make use of the highest levels of technology.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what is more, they are constantly improving on that technology.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We in Jamaica, I mean, I tell the story all the time, and some people must be bored hearing it. But it's worth about an American farmer who was talking about on the radio about having plowed, prepared, plow it, harrow, seed it, fertilize it, weedicide, whatever, right? 1,600 acres of land.
Yes.
Him one and God and a tractor.
And maybe his family.
Right?
Yes.
No. He alone.
Yes.
In a tractor.
Yes.
Right? With equipment.
Yes.
And he did all of that.
Yes.
1,600 acres of land.
Yes.
And he's now going off to the Virgin Islands for a 3-week holiday. Right? No. That is first world agricultural performance.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Here in Jamaica, to compete with that man,
yes,
we have a man with a fork and a hoe and a machete.
Yes.
Right?
And him with the best will in the world. He
can't compete.
Yes.
Right?
But I just said that, Mr. Perkins.
And not only that.
Yes.
In America.
Yes.
Right? The government of the United States, and I hear talk about this here all the time, that how the government of the United States is heavily subsidizing its agriculture. Right? You know why they do it?
Because subsidize the agriculture?
Yes, they heavily subsidize their agriculture.
Yes.
Why do they do it?
Well, so that they don't have to import any?
Well, no. It is not that their agriculture is inefficient. And they're compensating for that inefficiency. Right? Their agriculture is highly efficient, possibly the most efficient in the world.
Yes.
Right? But if they did not subsidize, it is possible industry can produce more value over a shorter time than agriculture can.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And if the Americans did not subsidize their agriculture, they probably would end up not having an agriculture. Because people would migrate out of agriculture and into industry and tertiary occupations. Right?
And you can't be economically viable if you can't feed yourself.
Well,
and food security. Food security is very important.
They could import stuff, right?
But you'll be subjected to the whims and fancy
of
what is imposed from elsewhere. And
it is a security issue in the United States.
Yes.
Right? They want to preserve an agricultural sector as a matter of security policy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, let us look at this country. We are a primitive country.
All right, sir.
Right?
But Mr. Perkins, as a farmer, you see, let me just draw an example to what you just say.
Yes.
Because I'm current in the thing. I'm champion farmer and I'm involved in a lot of farming activity in Jamaica. Now, last week, your program was done. Your morning program started off, I think, at the National Research Commission, the Water Research Commission. But before Mr. Basil Hernandez is a very resourceful person. And we learn a lot from him.
Yes.
He's coming from the old school, former Rossi's guy. And in the old days, you know, this is going to tell you how old I am. I'm not as old as him, but in the old days, only 2 or 3 schools offer geology. And he is the beneficiary of that. I don't even think how many, I don't know, I'm aware of how many schools are offering geology now. So he's coming, he's very knowledgeable and resourceful, and he did well. But then come a personnel from the National Irrigation Authority. And the theme of the presentation of that day was, I think they call it Water Day or something like that. Yes. And the theme was that you must use every drop of water. Make every drop of water usable. Now, the National Irrigation Authority has a number of projects. And I don't know, Mr. Perk, you could tell me how they could ensure that every drop of water is used.
Well, why is it necessary to use every drop of water?
Well, it is necessary to use every drop of water, so to speak, because of the high cost of water. Right? But there's none of the National Irrigation Authority schemes that they are doing that they can tell you. Look at the simple. Follow this progression, Mr. Perkins. They cannot tell you the rainfall in the project area for the day. They cannot tell you the evaporation and the transpiration in the project area for the day. They cannot tell you the retention capacity of the soil in the project area for the day.
Yes.
So how are they going to ensure? Because I spoke on your program already. There's a project in Hoslo, and sometime they have to go all the way to Mandeville to hear the rainfall up there. They don't have a rainfall, a rain gauge down there. They don't have an evapotranspiration tank. And I spoke to them. I went to a committee in Parliament, and when I talked to the man who was there, I said, think about those technicalities. They don't know the retention capacity of the soil there working and
But hold on a minute.
Yes.
Hold on a minute.
Yes, sir.
That retention capacity of the soil
Yes.
is of vital importance. You know,
Sorry?
because when the water goes into the soil
Yes.
and the soil can't hold it, right?
Yes.
Then that water is not going down by itself. It is taking with it
Mm-hmm.
nutrients
Yes.
that
Yes,
you
yes.
hoped that the plants that you put into the soil
Yes.
would take up and grow upon them and
Yes.
produce upon them.
Yes. Once
Right?
it's saturated, that run off.
Eh?
Once the soil is saturated,
Yeah.
and if you continue to put water there, it
Yeah.
will run off.
It's going to, yes,
Yes.
not just run off.
Well,
It is going to soak down into the,
Well,
further
it
beyond the
soak down
roots
at
of
first, but if
beyond the roots of the plant.
When the soil is saturated,
Uh-huh.
well, I would imagine that they would have drainage to get rid of excessive gravitational water.
Yes.
But if taking into consideration that that is in place, then they would, once the soil is fully saturated, then the water is going to run off.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Well,
And
not,
so-
no, hold on.
yes,
It's not just a matter of running off.
yes,
That is part of the problem.
Yes.
Flooding will, but if the water, if you put some water on the soil,
yes,
right?
yes,
Then the water will soak down into the soil,
yes,
right?
yes.
Now, that depends, however, upon the water holding capacity
Of the
soil.
Yes.
And that is why, and that depends upon humus,
Yeah. Well,
the amount of humus in the soil,
Yes.
right? Which is why the agricultural tradition
Yes.
in St. Elizabeth, particularly in southern St. Elizabeth,
Yes.
was so, well,
They use mulching.
they use mulching.
Mulch to
They
retain, and
used
this
to,
is because.
the only part of Jamaica that I've ever seen this, right?
Yes.
Where they prepare the soil,
Yes.
and then you see them carpeting the soil
Yes.
with grass that is specially grown for
Yes.
it.
Yes. They have
for the
farmers
purpose.
who just grow grass to.
Hold on just a moment for me.
Yes.
Hold on. Okay, thank you very much. Back here.
Perkins. Essentially, what the National Irrigation Authority ought to be doing is to engage itself in what is called water budgeting.
Uh-huh.
So rain falls, some of that rainwater is going to leach, some is going to go by evaporation, some is going to go by transpiration, that's a leaf giving off water. And you need to say from first time it was inches, now it's cubic meters of water.
Uh-huh.
Now, you need to establish when this plant, the plant you have in the soil, is going to reach wilting point. So from then after you know rainfall, you quantify that. You know the retention capacity of the soil. How much water give out?
Well, you should be building up the retention capacity of the
Yes,
soil.
well, it's difficult to do that. Well, it's difficult to do that, Mr. Perkins. What you normally do, and I hear a lot of people talking about organic fertilizer, you apply it.
Uh-huh.
You see if you understand. You
Yes,
apply
and that is one of the
that is good.
ways of
But
doing
what it does in areas where you till the soil often,
Uh-huh.
then you bring back you adding back to the soil, because when you till the soil often, you're likely to get lumps instead of you getting smaller.
Anyway, so what is the point that you're making about this now?
Yes. Okay. So what I'm saying, you need to do that. And when you do that now, you can use the water, which you have to buy. Water is very expensive,
Uh-huh.
to replenish the soil with the water that you want.
Uh-huh.
No, they are not doing that.
Uh-huh.
The other process, and I go all around and I try to find out if this is happening in areas where you don't have water available for irrigation, you ought to have what is called a mean rainfall distribution. So you can have a 5 years or
a
10
mean
years
rainfall distribution?
Yes.
Well, how can the water authority do anything about that?
Because, Mr.
They can't distribute rainfall.
No. Yes, it's a natural thing, Mr. Perkins. So when you do the mean rainfall, it will give you the impression, how the rainfall pattern.
Oh, you're going to study that?
Yes, you're going to study that based on if you have your rain gauge and so you put it up and then you do the average per month, average per year, and over a period, say 5 years, it will establish when you are likely to have rain and when you're not likely to have rain. So you will know when to plant because you know when you're in the rainy season.
I see what you mean.
You understand what I mean? So we just move on from that. But the three questions I asked, we decide that it's not a first world country. What about a Kwashi country?
I don't know what you mean by a Kwashi country.
You don't know Kwashi? Kwashi in the days of slavery, the people in the great house regard the others out there, workers, we as black workers out there, as Kwashi. You never heard the term before?
Yes, of course.
Kwashi not so sensible, man. Kwashi fool.
But then,
yes.
In this country today,
yes,
being fool,
yes,
is not limited to what used to be called Kwashi.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Yes, man.
So why is it?
Let me tell you something.
Why is it? Well, why is it? It is popularly said that the people constantly gets the representation they deserve.
Yes.
So no Kwashi they put in the people.
No. But what they're getting to represent.
The successive governments have failed us.
Look, sir, it's not just the governments that have failed us, right?
Yes.
It is the business community has failed us.
Yes.
The intellectuals have failed us.
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, it is not just the man without education and without wealth that is Kwashi.
So you wouldn't characterize us as a Kwashi country then? You wouldn't characterize us as a Kwashi country?
Well, I would say that what is the fool?
Yes.
If Kwashim equal fool.
Yes.
Right?
You know, we're a fool country.
Then fool go right through this society.
All right, so that one look like a fit. Well, the third one
hold on a little bit. Hold on a little bit.
Yes.
If you think about it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The man who is in business.
Yes.
And is making, 100 million a year.
Yes.
If some things in this country were different, he could be making 200, 300 million.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And he could sleep in his house without having to put up burglar bars and have security and all this kind of thing. Right? And he could live a better quality of life than he is now able to live.
But he could be relatively comfortable. He could be relatively comfortable.
All
things being taken.
He could be far more comfortable than he is now. Right? And therefore, it would be in his interest to set about ensuring that those things changed.
Whose interest?
That wealthy man.
Well, Mr. P.
Right? Hold on a little bit.
Yes.
The things that are going on in places like Trenchtown.
Yes.
Right? He would have if he thinks about it, has an interest in ensuring that many of those things stop.
Yes.
And that other things go on, which would make people down there far more comfortable.
But Mr. P.
Right?
The few people who are pushing the buttons of progress for themselves, they realize that, in spite of what they want to do, the people indicate where they want to go. And so,
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think the people are indicating where they want to go. No.
Yes?
No. The people are fooled into believing that by going there,
yes,
they will benefit and they will get something and improve the quality of their lives.
That is one thing to,
but it is working.
There is the smart and mostly happening in politics, who watch where the people want to go. And when they are nearly there, they run in front of them and say, we have taken you here. Yes, that is another approach that you have.
No.
The
the approach that we have is one of fooling our people
yes.
and exploiting them.
Then if the people were not gullible, how could you fool them?
Yeah, well, fine, but it doesn't suit you to fool the man even if he's gullible. Right?
What do you mean? It
because
suits a few people.
Hold on. The benefits that you can get by fooling him up.
Yes.
Right? You could get 100 times those benefits by being honest with him.
Honest and prudent.
Yes.
But that may be harder to do. But I'll give you two. They're the third one, because you seem to be agreeing with the Kwashi country.
Mm-hmm.
But the third one is Kwashi first world country. What do you think of that one? Will you call us that?
A third world country?
Kwashi third world country.
Well, I don't know why. I don't know why. Well, maybe so. If by third world you mean that we are what? Fool.
All right, I get your impression, Mr. Perkins. Now, finally, something silently happened to us farmers, and we understand that if the leaders, the political leaders, the farm leaders don't do something about it quickly, it's the end of agriculture.
Yes.
My farm here, the fertilizer, the mixture that I use, the NPK, has moved from about, thinking about it, depending on where, by $1,100-$1,200 a bag to $1,800 a bag.
Yes.
18. Yes.
50% increase.
Yes. So how
over what period of time?
Sir?
Over what period?
Just recently, about a 2 months, 3 months period.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir. About a 2-3 months period. Now, Mr. Perkins, I'm going to reveal part of how this come about and see that, the people who we call farm leaders and the people we call ministry official and so, they don't care nothing about especially farmers. Now, we are about to...
But that is going to push up the price of food?
Well, it is not affordable, Mr. P. And there's no way you can be efficient. You can produce now without a good crop nutrient program. There's no way. And I hear last week like some people start call manure fertilizer. But it manure is good on his side. It improves soil fertility and maybe help with preventing erosion. But it don't have the macro nor micronutrient. Most of the time what you get from it is some nitrogen. And sometimes you use up whatever nitrogen is available to break it down to be acceptable to the plant. Now, we are in the banana industry. We are on the verge. It is going to happen right now of receiving the final tranche from the EU of Hurricane Dennis's help. You see how far we gone? Hurricane Dennis. It is going to be fertilizer and other input amounting to $130 million. Well, good. The farm leaders have said that, okay, of that, those of us who are the recipient of this initiative, we are to give back, say, 20%, although it is free. Whatever the cost is, we have to pay back into the system 20%, and that will be managed by the Banana Board as a catastrophe.
Hold on just a moment for me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, we have to close off.
Yes, I'm wrapping up now. But I want to tell you, and I want it to be riveted in the farming community. How is it this donation from the European market is going to be the final nail in the coffin for the banana industry?
You mean the reduction or removal?
No, the gift. The gift.
The gift?
Yes. Because the European Union chose an agent to supply the fertilizer to us. That agent chose a processor out here to supply the fertilizer to us as farmers. The processor, upon seeing that the rate, wherever that fertilizer emanates from, for per 100 weight, or whatever medium is used, far outstrip the rate at which we are getting fertilizer here. Can you imagine, Sapi?
That what?
The rate at which we are getting getting fertilizer, we used to get, say, a couple of weeks ago, from the local processor, who is now the agent that is going to distribute the fertilizer to the banana farmers.
From the European Union?
From the European Union. They have got the information, seeing the rate of the fertilizer to be distributed, and recognize that that fertilizer price far outstripped the price at which they were selling fertilizer.
Well, maybe it's a better quality stuff then.
No, it can't be better because it's the same NPK. One of them, what we are getting, have a one trace element in it, zinc, and it's the same NPK proportion. And this is where you see you don't have any competition. You don't have any competition. And the farm leaders and the minister and Ministry of Agriculture don't sit down like that.
Well,
without intervening. And so I'm going to use your program to call them to intervene. Intervene meaningful to see that agriculture continue, banana farmers and that, because the price of the fertilizer, they make other things, the worldwide price of ammonium and so. But certainly, this is the law of supply demand, and the company who operates, the local processor out of Santo Domingo, recognizing that the price elsewhere is higher than what their processing price is here, and has escalated.
But the chances are,
yes, sir,
that what you're saying is the cost price in Santo Domingo is lower than it is here.
No, well, the company who is I don't know where the EU got their fertilizer from, but this processor out here is
they probably manufacture it.
The processor out here is just processing the bulk of the thing is coming from Santo Domingo. And they are, it would seem as if the EU has chosen Santo Domingo to be its agent, and because of the affiliation of the local processor with Santo Domingo.
But you know, sir, you know what is the problem with our banana industry and our sugar industry?
What?
The fact that they are so inefficient that they have to be very heavily subsidized.
Well, the industry, I just outlined to you, take a thing like irrigation, the approach to water budgeting, the approach to nutrition in the sugarcane industry, the approach to variety management, the agronomical practices and pathological practices are not being brought to bear, and the production, so that you can have better productivity.
Yes. Well, that is part of our problem.
And this is why
Hold on. That is part of our problem in Jamaica.
If it's a wholesale thing, then Appleton and Worthy Park wouldn't be doing well.
Yes.
Yes.
In a world that, in a globalized world,
yes,
that is about free competition, and that requires efficiency.
Yes.
In order to be able to compete.
Yes.
We cannot compete either in sugar or in bananas.
Why?
What?
Why?
Because our cost of production is too high.
No, but what is influencing cost of production is that we are not using the tools of production efficiently.
Yes.
That is
precisely my point.
Yes. So it's not that the thing we are efficient. We have resourceful people who sit in an air-conditioned office and don't bring their technology into the field.
But this has been happening, sir, for a very long time.
Well, you see, this is why I agree with you that this is a quasi country.
Well,
quasi. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. But
you don't know. But me tell you, say, this country is a quasi third world country, and we're not going to get better until we change certain things. For example, you know, maybe it's only your program I can go on, you know. There are programs who, if I tell them my name, because they don't want to hear these facts, they want to convey to the people what is called, and your station is guilty of that, a good feeling. Do you understand?
Yes.
So here it is, your program is earmarked to give a good feeling, but you don't pay attention to the reality of the situation. And this is what we are doing. And if we're going around, we're going to go beg every time a minute you have an improvement, you have to call on the coffers of government, or you have to seek a grant from elsewhere. Meanwhile, we don't have no more Dr. D.P. Leckies who will go in there, create a breed of animal that is economical. The size is
But
there,
where is this
sentiment.
economical breed of animals that Dr. Leckie created, sir?
Well, then cut them up well, your
Right? What has happened to them?
On the program this morning, your early program,
Yes.
a farmer in St. Mary was called to speak on the farming section.
Yeah.
And he is the vice chairman of the St. Mary Dairy Farmers Association.
Yes.
And himself, I then promised a truck to collect the milk. He heard, he has never seen the truck. The truck is at Rada. Right? And farmers who have to live have been killing the cows and selling it as meat. And Mr. P, when I heard, I said, well, he's lucky because there seemed to be this key foolishness that is going around.
Yes.
We had the jails some 2 years ago when we declared that we're going to be involved in marketing. We were presented keys to refrigerated trucks.
Yes.
To date, the keys are still hanging in the JS boardroom. We don't see no truck. So it's this kind of foolishness that is being brought to bear on the system that we're going sooner or later, if we don't recognize that we are in the mendicancy squad, sooner or later it will be clear to all and sundry that Jamaica has joined the mendicancy squad.
No, sir, Jamaica was in that squad long time.
Long time?
Yeah, long time. Right? Because we could not be producing, we would not today be producing any sugar cane or sugar.
Yes.
Any banana. Right?
But Mr. P,
But for the heavy subsidies that started out as imperial preference.
well, that
Right?
was one way, Mr. P, but
And
but even
gone
that,
on
Mr. P, the
and
imperial
continues today
No, but
under
the
European,
imperial
what's
preference.
it called? ACP,
Mr. P,
yes?
under that imperial preference tax arrangement,
Yes.
it continued to reflect that it was taking more and more tons of canes and banana to purchase the equipment and implement that we want from England. Because we never negotiate any rate, Our rate was given to us. Meanwhile, we have to buy the implements and equipment
At market price.
at market price.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And
So,
there was
hold on a minute.
Mr. Perkins.
They are paying more for the sugar, sir. They're paying more for a pound of sugar
Yes.
than they could get it for elsewhere.
Mr. P, I used
Right?
to be overseer.
And what you want them to do?
I
Subsidize
used
the
to be
tractor?
overseer. I used to be overseer, Mr. P, on a farm in St. Mary.
Yes.
Where every week, Brimmer Hall, we used to do 16,000 coconuts to the copper factory and export via Arcabessa 3,000 stems of banana to England. Today, the banana producing parish, add all of them together because of serious, and hear me, Mr. P, if you want to call me and I can prove what I'm saying, because of serious business manipulation and because of the ineptness of the people who is in charge of our patrimony, be it the government. I'm talking about the government. Manipulation has taken place, resulting in that we don't have 60, all Ireland, we don't have 60 qualified producing banana farmers.
Well,
Can you imagine? In spite of the EU initiative.
we can't continue along these lines,
Mr.
sir.
P, in
These
spite
people
of
are not
the
going to
EU
subsidize us forever.
In spite of the EU pumping billions of dollars to help the farmers,
Yes.
we have had coincided
We
with the
need
period
to- we
that
need
the EU,
to
the
turn
greatest
our-
attrition,
we
the greatest
need to-
attrition from the industry.
We need to turn our attention, sir,
Yes, sir.
to efficient production.
And we
Right?
need to, what I beg for finally, Mr. P, is that there are resourceful person among us. They need to have some guts, that they don't surrender their resourcefulness to the whims and fancy of politicians.
All right, sir.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much.
God bless
All
you.
the best to you.
Good.
Okay, hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
I'm calling with regards to an experience I've had with the RGD in St. Anne's Bay. Back in November, I realized that there was an error on our marriage certificate.
Yes.
We initiated the process to get the error corrected.
Uh-huh.
When my husband went, I wasn't in Jamaica at the time. My husband went, and the lady who works at RGD gave him a document that he needs to fill out. A part of it must be filled by his first primary school. A part, she wrote with her own handwriting, must be filled out by a family member 10 years older. And a part must hold his information.
Yes.
He filled out the document accordingly, and I took it in. When I took it in, the young lady looked at it and said the document wasn't correctly filled in.
Uh-huh.
Now the section that they said my husband's information was to go in, they put somebody else's information, because when I read the form, it says 2 suitable persons were supposed to fill the information. So based on that, two people fill it other than him. When I sat to talk to the young lady, she told me that it is not properly done and I have to go and redo it.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to just verify with her what was done wrong and just to, recheck.
Uh-huh.
She said, lady, what is there for you not to understand? What is there not for you not to understand? I said what I have to say to you already. So I left. I went back and I got the information redone. I got the form refilled. When I took back the form last week, Wednesday morning, I saw another young lady. The young lady took the form.
Hold on just a moment. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
So you saw another young lady?
Yes, so when I saw that other young lady last week, Wednesday morning.
Uh-huh.
I saw her, she was standing, I was outside, the office was not yet open. So she came in and I went over to her and I said to her, I just need to ask you a question with regards to this form. She looked at it and she says to me, where is your husband? I said, he is at home. She says to me, this form is not properly filled because this person who filled, the person 10 years older whose information is there, that person's information is not acceptable. It is your information that is supposed to go there. So I said to her, I was here last week and I showed the form to somebody. Plus, I have the form with the person's handwriting saying a family member 10 years older than he is. She says, well, go back to the individual, go back to that girl, because I am telling you that is your information supposed to go there. And she went upstairs. Now, I was downstairs and other people were there, so I was talking with the other people and telling them what my experience is. The supervisor now turned around and said to me, well, madam, if you want to send the form to Spanish Town and let them reject it, you can send it. I said to her, the form would not have had to go to Spanish Town for them to reject it if you give me the proper information that I need. So she didn't say anything else at that point. Now, this morning, I went back to St. Anne's Bay with the form. Now, the principal for my husband's first school filled the form, and he dated the form 07. He put the year first, the month, and then the day. She says, this form is done from last year. This form is done from last year, and it don't have any use. You can't use it. So go back to the school and let the principal redo the form. So when we took it, the principal says, well, the form is properly done. I write my date, the year, the date, and then the day, the month, and then the day. Now, this morning when
how do you do it?
The principal
Yes.
of the school that my husband attended first wrote the date, the year 07, then the month 03, and then the day 06, which was the day when he signed it.
Oh.
She told me that it's not done properly and I have to take it back to the school for him
Well, that's
to redo it.
unusual for Jamaica.
That doesn't work for Jamaica.
I don't know if it being done that way.
Well, anyway, we took it back to the school and we got it done. This morning I went in and I decided to talk to a supervisor. So I told her what my experience was. When I finished talking to her, Mr. Perkins, she turned around and says to me, so what are you saying? So in other words, this is the way we do business, and don't complain to me because I don't have anything to, I don't have anything to say to you. There is no redress for you to get into this place. Okay, I went to the cashier now to pay for the document. They gave me a date because apparently when you're fixing something like this, you have to have an interview date. She gave me a date for sometime in April, but it's on a Thursday, and my husband can't go on a Thursday. So I went back to her and I said to her, it's a Thursday and he can't come on a Thursday. Can you give me another date? She gave me the other date and she signed it and she put the date on my receipt. But I didn't see her change the date on the document that she has. So I said to her, did you change the date on the document? She says to me, that is your receipt. You can go now. So at that point I said, well, I see why they behave the way they behave, because the head of the stream is dirty. So if the head of the stream is dirty, then it means that the whole organization is dirty.
I don't know what head of the stream you're talking
about. Now, one individual this morning came in and she was talking, about the way she feels that she's treated. Because when we went in this morning, RGD is supposed to open at 7 o'clock. At 7:35, they came down and let us in. And when we went in, the young lady is sitting at her computer and she's just processing documents, and we're all sitting there. So the lady said to her, what happened? Your phone don't work? This is the way she turned on and answered the lady. We don't have phones here that don't work. The lady says, well, I have been calling you all day yesterday and nobody answered the phone. She said to the lady, well, nobody not going to answer the phone if you call a desk where nobody is sitting. Now the lady told her what she wanted to tell her, and she told the lady that she came in with 7 devil and whatever. After the lady was gone, Mr. Perkins, everybody who would listen, she had to tell them the story, how I tell this woman that she have 7 devil and whatever. The woman said, I must put a smile on my face. When you go in there, Mr. Perkins, they look so miserable. They don't have time to smile with you, and it is obvious that at RGD, this is my own interpretation. We give you 10 words, and after the 10 words, don't say another thing, because we don't want to talk to you. In fact, when the young lady brushed me off the first day when I went there, I said to her, pigs live in a barn, so if you come into an office and ready to serve customers, then you are going to see people and people are going to talk to you, but you don't want to talk to anybody. So it means that you don't need to be here. And so this is I sat there now and I was reading their vision statement. Their vision statement read, to become one of the most efficient and effective agency in the islands, satisfying the needs of all customers, effectively supporting national planning and implementing TQM. Now, I had to ask the supervisor this morning, I said, you are trying to implement TQM. What is TQM? Total Quality Management is saying that you're going to endorse quality in all aspects of the organization, and you're going to continue to improve, the quality of service that you're offering.
Tell me something, Mom. Are you any closer now to getting your marriage certificate?
Well, yes, they finally took the document this morning on the 3rd trip. But I'm talking about.
And when will you get the
interview?
Oh, there's an interview.
There is an interview that will be conducted sometime in April.
To get a marriage certificate?
Not a marriage certificate, just a correction. My husband's name is spelled Garnet, and on the marriage certificate it's spelled Garnett. So we're removing the extra T from the marriage certificate.
When the marriage was registered?
It was registered the 18th of May 2000.
And was that wrongly registered?
Yes, it was.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So the mistake was made in the registration?
Right.
I see. And you're trying to have that corrected?
I'm trying to have that corrected.
I see. Well, so that was not their fault then?
No, it was not their fault, Mr. Perkins. My problem I have, is just the behavior, the overall behavior. And I'm saying that even when there is a supervisor, don't try to get any redress because they don't have any to offer either.
I see. All right, Mom. Thank you very much. And I hope that you get your interview and that you get your correction.
Okay.
And the certificate comes through all right. Okay, hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. What I want to bring to your attention, in the Gleaner, you see?
Hello?
Yes, sir. In the Gleaner, it has a notice, Ministry of Housing, Transport and Water and Works.
Yes.
And then it has that the toll payable.
They're going to raise the toll.
No, it's going to be reduced.
What?
You can find it on page
A4, page A4?
Page 4, yes, sir.
They're going to reduce the toll?
Yes, that is what the proposal is, to reduce it.
That's not my understanding.
Yes, sir, read it and you'll see.
Oh?
Reduce the toll. Proposed toll is going to be reduced, yes.
I don't know. That's not...
Well, read it and you'll see now, sir.
Eh?
Read it and you'll see.
Uh-huh.
But I think this is a gimmick for the election.
Oh? I don't know, Mom.
Yes, sir. Read it and you'll see. Read it and you'll see. Read it and you'll see.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, hello?
Yeah, hello.
Uh-huh.
Good afternoon, sir.
Huh?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm a returning resident here, and
Yes.
I just want to talk about this election that's coming up.
Uh-huh.
I know that when it reaches in this time, election time, things are more likely to happen. So I'm saying to all my Jamaican them out there, please just be a good Jamaican citizens and just know that everyone have his or her right to vote for who each one want to vote for.
Uh-huh.
And it's for the better of the country. The next thing I want to talk about is that I read some time ago in the Gleaner about Mr. Davis and the budget that was presented last year, that he's saying that the government must be blamed for the money that not been collected because the 20% from JPS have not been sold yet.
Hold on. Give me that again.
Yeah, I read some time ago in
Would you speak up a bit for me? I'm not hearing you clearly.
I read some time ago in the Gleaner, I think about last month,
Uh-huh.
that Mr. Davis was blaming the government for the money that was not being collected for the budget.
Yes.
Is because of the 20% of JPS have not been sold.
Uh-huh.
So what I'm saying still, what I would suggest to Mr. Davis is that to convince the government to buy back the 80% from Miran more than to sell the 20%, because...
Where the government going to get the money to buy it back?
Well, I don't know, no, but I believe it's best for the government to have back that power supply in their hand, because what the amount of money that Miran make, that would do the government well.
Well.
You understand? And basically, I kind of understand why the government don't want to have that in its position for the responsibility. It's because probably the amount of money that has been lost over the years from the people who was operating in that facility. Because some of the workers there, they do all different schemes and plan and just make the government have to spend more than what the government made of the power station.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I go there and I experience that myself, and I hear.
Then why does the government allow these people to behave in that way?
Well, that is what I'm always find a solution for. You know that in the majority of the government sector, when you go in there, you find it to know that people have their way, and it's not like a principle have been set. What I'm suggesting to the government, that they set a complaint center in the country, that if a citizen go anywhere that the government have for the country to be served, and the service is not the right service that a citizen is supposed to get, a complaint center should be there that each citizens can go and complain, and that complaint center send out their agency and investigate.
All right, sir.
Investigate on the matter what that citizens.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. You know that lady who called about the notice, the toll. You know, a lady called me earlier on this morning to tell me that this thing was in the papers, and she was saying that she couldn't understand what it was about. Now, I assumed, well, I don't know, I was under the impression that this was going to be an increase in the level of the toll. But it seems to be a reduction. Maximum toll chargeable. Class 1 vehicle, $190. That will remain as it is. Proposed toll, $190. Class 2 vehicle, $375. This is outside of my experience. And that is to be reduced to $250. And then class 3, $565. That is the maximum chargeable now. And that is to be reduced to $480. That's the proposal. And then there's another, that is the fees payable at the Vineyard Toll Plaza. And then now, fees payable, I don't know, this is entirely outside, I don't know what kind of vehicles these are. And then the toll payable at the Spanish Town Toll Plaza. The maximum toll chargeable for class 1 vehicles is now $60. That is to remain, that as the proposal. Class 2, $120. That is to go down to $80. Class 3, $180. And that is to go down to $150. Well, the lady said that it probably had to do with the election, and I'm in no position to argue with her about that. Okay. Hello? Hello? I don't quite understand what that is about. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Yes?
I think you're giving the wrong information there.
Help me.
The current charge.
Yes.
Is the current charge is $50 at the Spanish Town toll booth.
Hold on just a moment. Spanish Town. This is the Vineyard Plaza. And the Spanish Town toll booth. Yes.
The current is 50.
Eh?
The current charge is 50.
The current charge.
What they could charge.
60.
What they could now charge is 60.
Yes.
But what they propose to charge is 60.
Yes.
So that's an increase.
That's not an increase.
Yes.
The current
charge 50.
Hold on. The current charge is 60.
50. 50.
Where you get that from?
At the Spanish Town toll booth for a car.
Are you looking at
I'm looking at the advertisement.
You're looking at the advertisement. The advertisement says, in relation to the Spanish Town toll plaza, it says maximum toll chargeable. All right?
60.
And that is now $60.
That is 60. What they can charge. What they can charge under the new proposal. In other words, what they, according to their calculations, could now charge is $60.
Yes.
And they propose to charge $60. But what now obtains, as of right now, is $50.
It's $50.
Yes.
So
and also, for the Vineyards Toll Plaza, what now obtains is $180 for Class 1. Maximum toll chargeable, $190. Proposed toll, $190.
Yes.
So it's an increase of $10.
190. You're saying that they're now charging, but
the present charge is
nowhere in the document.
The present charge. Charge.
Where is the present charge?
No, it's not there. I mean, what if you go there now to that toll plaza? You're going to be charged $180.
Yes, but that present charge is not in the advertisement.
No.
Not listed?
No.
Okay.
What they're talking about, maximum toll chargeable,
Uh-huh.
meaning what they could charge.
Uh-huh.
And what they propose to charge is what they could charge, which is 190. That's
Oh,
the
I see
new
what you mean.
proposal. And if you look at, if you have like an SUV, and you go through the Vineyards Toll Plaza.
Where is the Vineyard Toll Plaza?
That's the one near Old Harbor.
Oh, yes.
Right. I'm not sure. I think it's about 220 or 230. No. And the proposal is 250.
Uh-huh.
That's an increase.
Yes.
You know.
So
it's not a decrease. It's an increase.
So hold on. But this is some kind of fraudulent advertisement.
Right. The advertisement is not clear at all.
No, because what they should be telling you
is what is the
current charge.
Right.
Right? But they're now telling you about the maximum chargeable, which is astronomical in some cases.
Right. It's because what they are telling you is that they could charge that, but they are now going to charge less than that. But what they are going to charge is still an increase.
I follow you.
Right.
I follow you.
That's how I see it.
I follow you. So they're telling you that, I mean, we're being nice boys.
We're being nice boys. So don't, you know.
We're not when you consider what we could charge you.
Right. We're giving you a blight.
We're being very nice.
Yes.
We're giving you a blight.
Right.
Right? So there's nothing for you to be upset about. I see what you mean.
That's what I think is the situation.
I follow you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, yes. Good afternoon to you, Mom.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
Could you kindly assist me, please?
I'm not hearing you very well.
Hello?
Yes?
Could you kindly tell me, can a police choose not to serve a summons on a particular person?
Can a police do what?
Choose not to serve a summons on a particular person.
Can a policeman choose?
Should they not serve a summons and who they choose not to serve it?
I should have thought not. Why?
I'm having a problem with that.
Getting a summons served?
Pardon?
Getting a summons served?
Yes.
What kind of summons?
A suing summons.
A suing summons?
Yes.
You're suing somebody?
Yes.
And you're asking the police to serve the summons?
Yes, and from last Monday and up to now it hasn't been served.
I'm not sure that
3rd of next month.
Yes, but I'm not sure that that you have the right in a civil matter to ask to get the police to serve the summons. I think you need to talk to get a bailiff.
Bailiff?
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I haven't checked it, but my understanding is that the police are not there to do that.
Okay, I went to the police station and they told me that a DC have to serve it.
They told you that what?
A DC, district constable.
Uh-huh.
And I gave her the summons from last Monday.
Uh-huh.
And I called her on 3 occasions up to Friday.
Yes. I think that you could get a DC to do it. Yes, I believe so. But fine, so if she won't do it, find another DC.
I don't know if anybody else is there to serve it. It seems like I'm not getting anywhere.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what to do. I don't want to take anything in my hand, you know?
Yes, but if you can't get one DC to do it, get another one, or get a bailiff or somebody like that. Check it out. You have a lawyer?
No, it's just a small suing, but I need the money and I cannot get it, and I don't know of any alternative more than to get the law.
I see what you mean. Well, I suspect that I don't know. I'm not an authority on this, right? But I suspect that what you do is get another district constable to do it.
I spoke to the inspector yesterday, but I don't know what is he doing. I don't know.
Well, what did he say to you?
He told me that the person was at in office yesterday.
Which person?
The DC. But I told him to ask her to serve it for me. But I don't call back there. I'm going to call back there about 4 o'clock to find out. But I want legal advice because the court date is the 3rd, and it have to endorse by JP before it can and go back into the court office.
Yes.
So I don't have the problem.
But you haven't spoken to the district constable then?
Yes, I spoke to her 3 times, and every time I call, she don't serve it yet. So I was to call 119, and they explained to me.
119?
Yes, I just asked advice, like I do now. Yes. So I spoke with the inspector yesterday and asked him to tell her kindly to serve it for me because I need the money. I'm desperately in need of it.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, if you speak to somebody in the court's office, they might be able to help you, to
I spoke
advise
to someone there, and she said, I can serve it myself, but I don't want any problem. You understand?
Yes.
She said, I can just put it down like that and give it in front of the person.
Yes.
But I don't want any, you know? So I think the police is the best person to do it.
Well, get a security guard to go with you. Okay?
Yes, all right then, Mr.
Okay, all the best to you.
Ocherius and surrounding areas. For Decra roofing tiles, top quality clay tiles and more, call Quality Dealers Roofing Limited, 3 Milford Road, Ocherius, telephone 974-6424. Quality Dealers Roofing, serving you since 1972. The time by Quality Dealers Roofing is
1:45.
B-Mobile customers, does your handset use a SIM card or chip? No? Then you're on the old TDMA network, and that network will be turned off March 30th. Time to trade in and step up to B-Mobile GSM service. From now till March 30th, B-Mobile is making it extra easy to upgrade to GSM. Bring in your active TDMA handset to any B-Mobile dealer and trade it in for a new GSM handset for as low as $1,800 plus GCT. Keep your old phone number plus get $500 credit. Step up with B-Mobile. Details in the press. Conditions apply. Me and my B-Mobile, there's nothing quite like us. For good while stocks last.
The Lotto jackpot is $100 million. That's right. The Lotto jackpot is $100 million. Don't miss your chance. Buy your Lotto ticket early. Lotto, a ticket to your dreams.
This is an important announcement from the National Water Commission. National Water Commission customers in the vicinity of Mango Valley and Port Maria in St. Mary will experience a disruption in service on Wednesday, March 28 between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. This is to facilitate the relocation of pipelines as part of the North Coast Highway project. Customers are being asked to store water for the time specified. The NWC regrets any inconvenience this necessary work may cause. That was a message from the National Water Commission. You're listening to Perkins Online, the Thinking Person's Talk Show. Our phone numbers are 968-4901, 968-4902, 968-4903. Our local toll-free line is 1-888-991-4072. Or you may call our international toll-free line, courtesy of the People's Telecom of Jamaica Limited, winners of the prestigious Jamaica Milestone Award on 1-866-LINK-106. That's 1-866-5465-106. You can also log on and listen to Perkins Online live on the World Wide Web free at www.go-jamaica.com. Now back to Perkins Online on Power 106 FM.
Okay, we're back with you, and we have some email, which we're going to read for you now.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. This one is from Canada. Mutty, it might interest you to know that on March 25th, Yahoo website carried the following question. Will the murder of Bob Wilmot ever be solved?
I think that's a good question.
The results of that poll was 55% no, 43% yes.
That's high.
2% not sure. Mr. Perkins, having listened to Sister P at the NEC's meeting on Sunday, I see the election is not far away, and I can see the whole PR line. Blame the opposition for what we didn't do. And it's not Portia's fault. She's not associated with the past 18 years of PNP misgovernment. See Lloyd Smith's article in today's Observer.
Yes.
He clearly is trying to say that Sister P should not be linked to the past 18 years. It might be the PNP's fifth term, but it would be Portia's first.
Uh-huh. So what is she doing?
This is a cute and clever line of attack, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
It is the epitome of PNP spinning.
Yes,
the PNP usually has two lines of attack when they're on the electioneering mode. Two, demonize the
opposition.
To demonize not the opposition, to demonize the attacker. This is what the Mail is saying. For instance, see Siaga and Tivoli Gardens. The other one is to spread money. Look at this 1 week celebration of Portia's 100 days and now 1 year in office that Mr. Pickersgill says will take place. Money is going to flow. Mr. Perkins, if the people of Jamaica accept this, they will prove to be the fools that the PNP thinks them to be.
Well,
for it to be a new party, she, and Portia's first time, she would have to divorce Umar, Pickersgill, Maxine.
Absolutely right.
And all the rest of them.
Yes.
And come she alone, clean. Other than that, it's the same set of old caroches, even though the driver start to wear brand name clothes.
Well, the fact of the matter is that she was one of those who, she has been in the government since, for all the 18 years that it has been in office. And in any event, I mean, Lloyd B. Smith had in his article this morning, I thought nonsensical, because she can't come alone as a prime minister to govern the country. She's going to have ministers. And where are those ministers going to come from? And are they going to be the same ministers that have been misgoverning the country for the last 18 years? Who is she going to have as Minister of Finance, if not Dr. Davis? Who was Minister of National Security, if not Dr. Phillips? Or just change them around, you know? But the same party. I don't think that the argument that this would be her first term makes any sense at all. It is absolute nonsense, and very likely spin, as the writer says. Yes.
Dear sir, listening to your program on Friday, March 2, 2007, news came of another fire at the city's dump. The failure to establish a landfill at Riverton is a formula for continued disaster. Each fire gets bigger and better than the one before. You cannot put out a fire with bulldozers. You cannot prevent a fire with a fire engine. In 1998, I made a proposal to the Ministry of Local Government to set up a proper landfill, inclusive of reducing to presence of combustible materials stored at Riverton. NSWMA seems to be totally ignorant of the chemical and biological forces at work at the site. The public seem to be happy with the frequent fires, or they would demand a solution to the problem. And this gentleman is a chemical consultant.
Well, it seems to me that there is something wrong with having a dump like Riverton so close to residential areas, and to have fires and smoke coming out of it in the way that has happened twice recently, at least twice. It would seem very hard on the people, and I don't see why they should have to put up with that.
Mutty, do you not find it strange that even after the police termed Mr. Wilmot's death suspicious as early as last Tuesday, and knowing that the Pakistan team was due to leave on Saturday, and more than likely, with the majority of their supporters, that it was not until much later in last week, Thursday evening in fact, that the issued of the CC tapes were even mentioned by the police? In fact, it was Mr. Issa on your program who first mentioned the security tapes. All along, without ruling out anyone, their investigation had been pointing them in the direction that Mr. Wilmot knew his killer or killers. It would seem to me that the moment the police realized that there may have been something suspicious, that the retrieving of this CCTV footage would be foremost in their minds. To wait several days before gaining access to those tapes is tantamount to dereliction of duty.
I don't know.
Mr. Shees himself commented on the need for the tapes to be digitalized. Mutty, I know of no modern CCTV system in which the data is not stored digitally. Modern CCTV systems store the video images directly either to the computer hard drive or to a device known as a DVR, digital video recorder. Retrieval of the video and the copying of viewing offsite is then done directly by copying the footage to a CD or DVD disc. It is an operation that in totality should not require more than an hour, or even that, to do so. And I'm speaking per tape.
Oh.
If an antiquated system was being used to record to regular videotape, why has it taken so long? My problem is that if you know that your primary witnesses and or suspects will be going to leave the island shortly, why wait so long to look at the footage?
That's a question that Mr. Shields would be better able to answer than I suppose. I hope.
Mr. Perkins, I was watching the BBC last evening, and this is from, I think, Switzerland.
Uh-huh.
I was watching the BBC last evening interviewing the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And she was very arrogant, shouting to the interviewer.
Oh?
Mr. Perkins, this interview should not be a shouting match. She was mixing up the old story with regards to slavery. And one of her spin doctors had to sit her down before going on to do further interviews in front of the international press. Did you see that, Mr. Perkins?
No, I didn't. I wonder. I don't know. That sounds very odd.
I didn't see it either. I've not heard anyone mention this.
No. I don't know that.
Hello, Mr. Perkins. As I've said to you on occasion, I feel sorry for God. Our Prime Minister claims she was sent, appointed by God. And it seems that she has certain religious persons supporting her. I would like this portion of the scripture to be read to her. Proverbs 29:16. When evil people are in power, crime increases, but the righteous will live to see the downfall of such people. That's Proverbs 29 verse 16. Proverbs 29 verse 18 says, a nation without God's guidance is a nation without order. Happy are those who keep God's laws. Mr. Perkins, do you think either of these Bible verses are apropos of anything or anyone in Jamaica?
Well, Sister P has been in office as Prime Minister for a year, sent by God to rule the country. We haven't yet seen the effects of it in terms of improvement in the order of the society. Okay, we have to take a break now. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online, and
yes,
just
Mr.
going to finish up the
Perkins,
email.
about Sheldon Miller, whose sister called us this morning.
Yes.
About him being detained by the Ellison Road police and then moved to Mountain View police station. We contacted the Mountain View police station, who told us to call Ellison Road. We did. Very polite and pleasant policewoman told us that she couldn't deal with the matter, but she gave us the number of another policeman who was also very polite and said that the detaining inspector wasn't there now, but gave me a number to call that person, the officer, the superintendent in charge of detaining and arresting. And that number just doesn't answer and doesn't have a recorder on it to take a message. So we're back to square one. We're going to advise the sister to immediately to get somebody from the legal aid or some Nancy Anderson to apply for a writ of habeas corpus, because the young man seems not to be eating.
Okay. And they haven't got any well, I don't know. Her account is that there are no charges against him. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Hey, Mr. Perkins. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I got a question.
Eh?
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
In your opinion, what do you think a birth certificate is?
What do I think of what?
A birth certificate.
A birth certificate?
Yeah. In your opinion, what do you think it is?
What do I think it is?
Yeah.
I'm not following you. What a birth certificate is? A birth certificate?
Without confusing anymore, let me tell you my problem. Okay. I'm a citizen of the United States, right?
Yes.
And I was adopted at age 13 in Jamaica, right?
In Jamaica?
At age 13 in Jamaica, yeah.
Yes.
Now,
Jamaican.
I've always known my birth mother since birth, right?
Eh?
Now, I've known my birth mother since birth. Now, I'm trying to apply to get my mom to the United States. Now, I lost the original birth certificate, so all I got now is my adoption certificate. Now, I tried to get an original and at the registrar office, and they told me that it's canceled. Now, in my opinion, a birth certificate is a record of your birth, right?
Yes.
I wasn't born at age 13. So how can my birth certificate, the original, be cancelled?
They cancelled your birth certificate? Why?
The original, yeah, it got cancelled because I was adopted. But, I mean, my mom was always there. My original birth mom was always there.
Yes.
My dad just thought it would be easier to get me to the United States if I was adopted by my stepmom.
Yes.
So it's not like my original mom wasn't there. She was.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm trying to get her here, and it's a big problem.
Well, I don't understand. I don't understand how they could cancel your birth certificate.
They said they have it there, but it's stamped cancelled across it. So I can't take that to the embassy. I can't take that to immigration.
But I really don't understand that.
Me neither.
Look here, I wonder if we can get Mrs. Lady at the RGD, because this is a very serious matter. How this man was born in Jamaica. His birth registered in Jamaica, and they have marked cancelled across the birth certificate because he became an American citizen. Does this make sense?
No, it didn't get cancelled because I became an American citizen. It got cancelled because I was adopted, which don't make sense to me because a birth certificate is a
birth certificate. How can you? I mean, if you can show evidence of adoption, but it seems to me that for certain basic purposes you need to show evidence of birth.
They have the adoption certificate right there at the registrar office.
Yes.
I was adopted in Jamaica by a Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
So
hold on a moment for me. Hold on a moment for me, please. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here. Look here. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we were trying to get the somebody at the RGD, but haven't been able to do so yet. What I would suggest to you, though, is that you talk to a lawyer about this.
I already spoke to a lawyer.
In Jamaica?
This is a situation.
Huh?
Yeah, in Jamaica.
And what was it?
I'm in the military. But the problem is I'm in the military.
Yes.
And I'm stationed in Germany.
Uh-huh.
So I got to be there in Jamaica to go through all the court proceedings to get the cancellation lifted, is what I said. And it's not possible right now.
Yes. But I wonder if your mother...
So I'm in the mid...
I wonder if your mother couldn't do this. Eh?
No, my mom can't. I already tried.
Look here, I tell you what.
It has to be me.
Uh-huh. Shall I put you on to... I'm going to put you on to somebody, you see? And you give us some particulars so that I can speak to somebody at the place about it. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Hold on just a moment. Hello. Boy, they are greedy. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
Not too bad.
You know what happened in Jamaica, Mr. Perkins?
What?
We shot a memory.
We shot a memory?
Yes. There's one man in Jamaica that I will never forget. And that man in Jamaica, he do more damage. One no storm. One Gilbert. What damage that man do to Jamaica and do to me, Mr. Perkins, I will never forget it.
Oh, is that so?
And that man is no other person but Roger Clark.
Roger Clark?
Yes.
What damage has he done, sir?
when he make me have to give all my cow, them all one big cow, I weigh $600 to $9,000. That man killed me out completely, Brother Clark.
Hold on. What did he do?
Import the meat and carry in power, sir. You don't remember? That's the same thing tell you, sir, we want short-term memory.
Oh, him import the meat.
Yes, Mr. Perkins, and that man make me have to sell out the cow, them, Mr. Perkins.
But hold on a little bit.
No, sell them. Give them away.
As Minister of Agriculture,
yes,
he imported meat, sir?
Mr. Perkins.
Eh?
Yes.
I don't think the Minister of Agriculture...
Who, Brother Clark?
Yes,
when you import the meat, Mr. Perkins, and carry out this country, and make me have to cure me cow them to little, and me no get the money for me cow them, no, Mr. Papa, they no have no use. People, they let up on the road. I get up and down.
But I don't know. I hear stories about people stealing cattle and killing them.
About that. So me thought the time when the man pull up the country with the imported meat and stop lose who we meat.
What was it?
Them say.
But Mr. Clark, I should have thought that would have been the Ministry of Commerce that would have licensed that.
You don't believe he's the Minister of Agriculture?
I don't know. He may have had some advisory role in it. I don't know.
Yes, man. You're Minister of Agriculture, man. Roger, man. Me import the meat, man.
Uh-huh.
And I remember one Sunday morning, Mr. Perkins, I come from country, from church, and the cow truck run up. Now, no use we cow them enough, right? And just let go all about there, can't put them out for the meat, stop sale.
Uh-huh.
And a man give me 9,000 for one cow, carry 600. From now, no use we, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
And the man licked me off on my foot entirely, you know, man. We can't pick out a man like that, you know.
Oh, boy.
What damage do that? Do it in the cow business, you know, Mr. Perkins. No storm, never do it, you know.
Uh-huh.
No, man. The man, the name should have written at the... Man, that man's a dangerous man, man. When to the country, no, me alone, you know. But when you go out to my community, every little man and 2, 3 cow, you know. And one day you sell one bullkin. You see all the holiday come, you have one young butcher come up and say, no bullkin there. You say, yes, man, you can get one bullkin, come. And the butcher come. December month come, you don't have to fret, I have one bullkin to sell. And that man wrecked the cow business complete, you know, Mr. Perkins.
Oh.
You don't see the small man with a cow again, no, Mr. Perkins.
Is that so?
And you can't raise hog. If you raise hog, you know, Mr. Perkins.
But if small man don't have cow, how them a thief cow from small man?
Well, not like first time. We don't want them one small man, you know, like a cow. We not like first time.
I see.
And in my committee, we don't have no cow again. And you can't raise the hog, you know, Mr. Perkins. But if you raise the hog, and the hog even put on 3 pounds a day, you're losing, you know. Yes, that's gone to the feeding. You can raise hog and buy feed him for you run at the last. So if the hog even put on 3 pounds a day, you're a loser.
Now, how pork sell? The pork is imported?
Yes, the big farmer them can raise the hog.
Why?
For them have a lot of hog, you know, when you're going the big, you get a little something, and you're slipping.
Oh, hold on. If they're losing money on one hog, then if them have 10 hog, them losing 10 times the money? That's all.
Of course, if you check the money feeding that you buy, Mr. Perkins, if you check the hog feeding, you raise the hog and sell him and get the money. And when you get the money, you say, yes, man, I get a good money. But because you never check on the feeding that you buy.
Yes.
So you say you make money, but if you check out the feeding or something, you check out the Mr. Perkins. And so me run at the last account, but I didn't buy the feeding. The hog. You understand? If the hog put on 3 pounds every day, you're a loser.
I'll follow you.
You understand, Mr. Perkins?
All right, so. Okay.
Then we'll have to try again. We don't have nothing to try again.
Oh, yes?
No, man, me try everything. Everything me do, me get wrecked.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So what you doing now?
Mr. Perkins, looking back. Brooke Benton sing one song, Looking Back.
Well, you should write a book, you know.
Well, when I 17, me start one shop in Mr. Perkins. And I said, me have one shop, I go on well. And I 17, me couldn't get nothing to put in. I me shut it down, Mr. Perkins. But me couldn't get nothing to sell.
I see.
And me said, me I could raise 2 cows. That's the start, though. And right now, the major no, man. The man lick out my cow them. Me I tell Mr. Perkins, a man like that, you know. You say, Mr. Perkins?
All right, sir. I'll have to try and get him and ask him about it.
Yes.
All right.
Call him, ask him when did the cow visit.
All right, sir. Okay. All the best. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Not too bad.
Beautiful. Yes, I want to ask you. I have two little points here to discuss with you in brief because time is winding out.
Yes.
Yes. Do you believe anything that the Bible says?
Do I believe anything that the Bible says?
Yes.
Well, I suppose I do, yes.
Okay. Do you believe...
not anything, but, you know, some
You believe
things.
some things. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe what is said about what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah?
Obviously something happened. Well, something may have happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't know where that was. I don't know, and somebody offered an explanation of it.
Okay.
Now, whether that explanation was accurate, I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Then you don't think, you know, a man like you who a lot of Jamaicans listen to and look up to get information and to get instruction and to know and doubtless follow based on what you are explaining day by day, that they might be able to know what is right or what is wrong. Now, how can you then yesterday, speaking to Mr. Latouche, say that as far as homosexual is concerned, right, is no problem to you?
As far as homosexual is concerned, let me ask you something, sir.
Yes.
Was there a time in your life
Yes.
when you were torn between being homosexual and being heterosexual?
No, me never have that in my mind.
You never have that in your mind?
That me born man and me remain man.
So you're just born and find yourself heterosexual?
I said...
Hold on. I'm asking you.
And I'm answering you.
You're just born and grow up and find yourself like
Being
a
a
man rather than man.
Being a man.
Right.
And remain that
No,
way.
so hold on. Hold on. So it's not a matter of virtue that has made you heterosexual. You had nothing to do with that decision.
No.
I beg your pardon?
No.
Okay. Is it likely, therefore, that the man who has grown up to find himself heterosexual came into it in the same way that you came into heterosexuality?
No.
No?
No.
You don't think it, you think that the man who is homosexual at some point sat down and decided, you know,
To be an
I think I
homosexual.
want to be a
Yes, he sat down and decided to be.
But on what basis do you come to that conclusion?
Huh?
On what basis?
On the basis that the Eternal gives every one of us a free moral choice to choose whether right or wrong.
Yes, sir, but you are telling me that you did not choose to be heterosexual.
No, because that's wrong, and I have the right to choose what's right.
Mister, you didn't choose to love women.
Eh?
You just came and found yourself like a man.
I choose to love one.
You choose to?
Yes.
You sat down and decided
That I should
between
love
being
women because
homosexual.
women... Yes, I
You're
sat down
talking
and
nonsense.
decided.
Anyway, thank you very much. All the best to you. We're out of time. That brings us then to the end of Perkins Online for today. We'll be back hopefully tomorrow. Usual time, usual place. We look forward to your company. So long.